Chapter 265. The people in school liked to call Mu Qiqi the little bride of the Sheng family. She was the object of envy for being able to win Sheng Zhao's favor at the age of 18 or 19. In school, there were posts and forums dedicated to her and Sheng Zhao's current situation. As if the others could join the rich and fly up the branches like phoenixes just by looking at her. In the eyes of outsiders, Mu Qiqi was a very mysterious person. She did not interact with anyone in school and would do whatever she wanted at all times. She was not interested in the things the girls discussed either. She would go home after school and would go to the dissection room or the lab after class. Even as Sheng Zhao's fiancée, she was not materialistic or vulgar at all. That was what the girls admired about her. At that moment the bell rang. When Mu Qiqi put away her documents, she saw Sheng Zhao leaning against the car outside the classroom. The classroom was in an uproar, but everyone knew who the man was here to pick up. Mu Qiqi walked out, and Sheng Zhao took her bag from her and threw it in the back seat. They got into the car at the same time and soon disappeared from the students' sight. Just watch. Those two won't last long. Since when did the Sheng family have a daughter-in-law who studies forensic science? But I think they are very loving. Someone was discussing the famous couple on the way to school. That's because you don't understand rich families. That said, Mu Qiqi is really professional. She is a girl, but she is not soft at all when it comes to physics and chemistry. Her professional skills are excellent. At present, Mu Qiqi was completely used to such discussions, and was also used to Sheng Zhao appearing beneath a certain academic building whenever and wherever he wanted. Mu Qiqi could not help smiling at the thought. "What are you smiling about?" Sheng Zhao asked Mu Qiqi, with his right hand on the steering wheel and his left hand on the window. "I'm smiling because you used to be so flamboyant in school, and now I'm being watched everywhere. Why don't people know about outstanding people?" Sheng Zhao was such a person. He was flamboyant because he was capable and never hid himself. He believed that capable people should enjoy the flowers and applause of the world. What was there to be afraid of? What was there to be afraid of? Soon their car drove into Sheng Mansion. Sheng Minglan and Mama Sheng were waiting at the door. When Mu Qiqi saw them, she could not help telling them, "You're my elders. You don't have to take care of me like this. It's only your second time here. Who else should I take care of if not you?" Sheng Minglan smiled and turned to lead the way. When they arrived at the dining room, the elders of the Sheng family took their seats one after another. Mama Sheng thought that she might not be able to distinguish the uncles when she introduced them to Mu Qiqi that night. However, Mu Qiqi did not hesitate at all. She called out the order of the uncles without any prompting. Mama Sheng was a little surprised. This girl's memory was really good. "Qiqi, it's your second time here. Be casual." Old Sheng showed his kind side, but the way Sheng Minghui looked at Mu Qiqi was full of hatred. How could she eat with Mu Qiqi at the table? "I heard that people who study forensic science have a rotten smell on them, and their hands touch a lot of unsightly things. Mu Qiqi, I'm a little disgusted with you sitting in front of me like that. I can't help it. I have a good imagination." Everyone could hear the unfriendliness in Sheng Minghui's words. But it must be said that the Sheng family took this issue very seriously. After all, the thought of corpses and internal organs really made their stomachs uncomfortable. Mama Sheng could not help but want to say something. But Mu Qiqi spoke before she could. "You don't have to take those courses in the first year. So, you are thinking too early, seventh sister." She was neither humble nor arrogant. There was not a trace of fear in her eyes. "It's not early, little girl. You can't make everyone lose their appetite every time you come. Can you? And who in the Sheng family would do that kind of work? Then, do you have any good suggestions, seventh sister?" Mu Qiqi threw the question back to Sheng Minghui. "It's simple. Change your course. Or don't come to the Sheng family. Isn't that easy? But I'm doing well in my studies. I don't want to change." Mu Qiqi replied to Sheng Minghui stubbornly. "If you don't want to see me, you can just avoid me. You actually want me, the young lady of the Sheng family, to avoid you? What else can I do? After all, you are the one who feels uncomfortable when you see me. You have to think about your own health." The elders of the Sheng family did not stop them when they saw them bickering. Grandpa Sheng even smiled. The dining table was very quiet when Chi-Chi was not around. Now it's finally lively. But Chi-Chi, can you really not change your studies? The Sheng family is a prestigious family after all. Eighth brother can arrange whatever you want to do. Even if you don't want to learn anything, and just want to play at home. It's still better than eighth brother being talked about behind his back. Sheng Minghui looked at Mu Chi-Chi. She wanted to know how she would answer Grandpa Sheng. Will you be criticized? Mu Chi-Chi turned to ask Sheng Xiao, who was beside her. Sheng Xiao looked playful. Who would dare to? Then there's no problem. Mu Chi-Chi did not care about Grandpa Sheng's pressure at all. She was as soft as a ball of cotton. She was not angry. She was just talking about the matter. As an elder, how could he not let the little girl go? Now that you mention it, I am being a busybody. Chi-Chi, although you are a Shen, you are also a new member of the Sheng family. Remember to respect your elders. Okay, Grandpa. Although you are engaged to Sheng Xiao and everything is official, don't be too proud. After all, you still have a few years to register your marriage. The old man's words carried a hint of threat. Be more polite to your seventh sister next time. Understand? As for your course, I will arrange for you to transfer to another faculty. You can also tell Grandpa which university you like. It seemed that this dictator was going to put his hands on her head. Sheng Minghui looked at Mu Chi-Chi provocatively. She knew that Grandpa Sheng would always side with his granddaughter. How could he help an outsider? With Mu Chi-Chi's capability, how could she overcome the Buddha's 5 fingers mountain? Mu Chi-Chi said nothing, but Sheng Xiao put food in Mu Chi-Chi's bowl. He said to everyone, how can I let others interfere with Chier's matter? Save it. Sheng Xiao, how can you say that? If seventh sister insists on interfering with our lives, I will find a good black man and send him to your bed on a good day. Sheng Minghui's face changed. Don't you think you are shameless? What can you do to me? Sheng Xiao retorted. Grandpa, if you're asking us to go home just to talk nonsense, then don't count us in. After all, there's food everywhere, isn't there? Chapter 266. Sheng Xiao, you are only engaged. You are not married. Grandpa Sheng was a little angry. I thought you would have to endure it for a few more years. So you want to make things ugly now? Sheng Xiao leaned against the chair and glared at Grandpa Sheng. You are engaged to an 18-year-old girl. Don't you have to follow the rules? She is my woman. I know how to discipline her even if she does something wrong. Why do you need to worry about that? Can't I say something? No. Sheng Xiao replied firmly. And you, seventh sister, if you cause trouble again, don't blame me for not warning you beforehand. Just as Sheng Xiao finished speaking, he heard a loud slap. The old man slammed his hand on the table and pointed at Sheng Xiao. I'd like to see if you can live a long life with such a young and delicate wife. Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Chi-Chi's shoulder and looked at Grandpa Sheng fearlessly. You guys can eat. Grandpa Sheng stood up and left the table. He brought seventh sister and fourth uncle with him. Sheng Xiao, don't use force against Grandpa every time. It is not good for Mu Chi-Chi. Fourth sister felt goosebumps all over her body when she thought of the tense atmosphere just now. I am not afraid. Mu Chi-Chi immediately stood up and expressed her attitude. Sheng Xiao caressed Mu Chi-Chi's hair and smiled. Whether it is soft or hard, I will not let Chier be wronged, especially in front of me. What if Grandpa decides to use force one day? I can afford it. But he can't. Sheng Xiao said firmly to fourth sister. You can continue to do that. Papa Sheng could not stand Sheng Xiao's protective attitude, so he stood up and left the table. Sheng Xiao ignored him and said to Mu Chi-Chi, hurry up and eat. Let's go home early. I am trying my best. Mu Chi-Chi tilted her head. There were a few weirdos in the Sheng family. One was Grandpa Sheng, who was a dictator and wanted to control the fate of everyone in the Sheng family. The other was Sheng Xiao. He was unmoved by force or persuasion. He did things according to his mood. No one could suppress him. At the same time, no one could please him. Alright then. In the future, unless it's an important occasion, you don't have to come over for a meal. Otherwise, it'll be unpleasant. Mama Sheng decided. Chi-Chi, you don't have to take your grandfather's words to heart. You just have to remember that you have eighth brother to protect you. You don't have to worry about anything else. I know, Mom. In fact, Mu Chi-Chi's bravery was all an act. She knew what kind of person Sheng Xiao was, and she did not want to be a burden to him. It was not that she was not afraid of Grandpa Sheng's oppression, but she had to be resilient. She could not be threatened by anyone. Even if she had to fight in the end, she would not be alone because she had Xiao Xiao's protection. After a hasty dinner, Sheng Xiao left with Mu Qiqi. Meanwhile, Grandpa Sheng and Sheng Minghui were on the top floor of the mansion, watching their sports car drive away. Seventh brother. Help Grandpa think of a way to make the relationship between the two of them less intimate. As long as eighth brother hates this girl, I can directly kick her out. Grandpa, you should know that I won't be able to bear the consequences if I touch Sheng Xiao's people. Sheng Minghui was afraid of Sheng Xiao. I'm here. What are you afraid of? Grandpa Sheng turned around and asked her. Do whatever you can to make eighth brother hate this girl as soon as possible. Make them break up. I feel sick every time I see a forensic doctor. I'm already so old, but I'm still disgusted by such things. How can I not follow your orders, Grandpa? Sheng Minghui smiled. In the end, Mu Qiqi was at the age where she loved to play. She did not believe that she could reject the vanity of a man who kept chasing after her. She had to think of a way to deal with Mu Qiqi from all aspects. As long as she could find evidence that Mu Qiqi was having an affair with someone else, Sheng Xiao would know how to deal with the traitor without telling anyone. And school was the easiest place for Mu Qiqi to break her plan. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi was already imagining a drama of a rich family on her way home. Whether she was willing or not, she could not run away from Grandpa Sheng's attitude today. Grandpa hinted that we still have a few years before we can register. Is it clear that he won't let me join the Sheng family? Do you think that Grandpa Sheng is only cunning in these aspects? Sheng Xiao sneered as he drove. He will definitely give me a woman and give you a man at the same time. He has always regarded relationships as child's play, and he has never believed that true love exists in the world. However, all long-term couples are because of the balance of power. Give me another man. Mu Qiqi was shocked. I can't handle you alone, okay? Little one, do you want to die? Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes in the face of Sheng Xiao's threat. I finally understand where your demonic genes come from. You must have the magical genes to fight against Grandpa since you were young. But Mu Qiqi did not show any fear. This surprised Sheng Xiao. Aren't you afraid at all? As long as I'm sure that you won't leave me and I won't leave you, then I'm not afraid of anything. I'm only 18 years old. I can try anything. Who asked me to trust you so much? In the night sky, Sheng Xiao saw Mu Qiqi's twinkling eyes. His heart was stirred, because her eyes were as dazzling as the stars. Everyone seemed to be looking forward to a stable marriage. But even the most stable relationship could fall apart in the end. That was why every marriage was a gamble. Did Grandpa Sheng think that external forces could destroy their combined souls? Let's try. Did he think that she was young and fickle? But the truth was that it was easier for an 18-year-old to sacrifice herself for love. On the other hand, Sheng Minglan was much more spirited now that Grandpa Sheng had temporarily stopped looking at her. Jing Yun relaxed his furrowed brow when he saw that. His gloomy mood was swept away, but that did not mean that Sheng Minglan had let her guard down. She was carefully considering Jing Yun's suggestion. He had to prepare for a rainy day and quickly find a way out for himself. But perhaps because Grandpa Sheng felt that he owed Sheng Minglan, after what happened last time or something else, he had put Sheng Minglan's marriage as the first priority. Recently, he was in contact with an English tycoon. He believed that English men would make good husbands because they were polite. More importantly, the man was interested in finding an Asian woman as his wife. And he was very satisfied after seeing Sheng Minglan's photo. Chapter 267. Mama Sheng looked at Sheng Minglan's face and knew that she did not want to be controlled. And because she saw Sheng Minglan trying so hard to control herself, Mama Sheng felt that it was a wise choice to let Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi get engaged. She used to obey Grandpa Sheng. But when she saw how much her son liked Mu Qiqi, her heart wavered. That was why she helped her son. If Sheng Xiao's marriage was arranged like this, she thought that Sheng Xiao would probably die with Grandpa Sheng. To prevent Sheng Minglan from crying, Mama Sheng brought Sheng Minglan away after the meeting and went straight to Sheng Xiao's house in Jingting. Mu Qiqi knew that something had happened when she saw her mother bringing fourth sister to Jingting, even though it was already late. She quickly welcomed them. Qiqi, fourth sister will stay here tonight. Comfort her. I'll cover for her when I get home. Don't worry, Mom. Mu Qiqi held Sheng Minglan's hand and realized that it was cold. Did Grandpa force you again? Qiqi. Sheng Minglan suddenly hugged Mu Qiqi. She finally could not control her emotions. I don't understand why Grandpa thinks that his interference is charity to us. No one wants his charity. He is too domineering. Do you know that he is going to introduce me to some Englishmen? I can't take it anymore. Mu Qiqi did not know how to comfort her. So, she took out some wine and got drunk with her even though she was not a good drinker. However, since Sheng Minglan wanted to get drunk too, the two women ended up getting drunk in the living room, leaning against each other as if drunk as mud. Sheng Xiao frowned when he got home and carried Mu Qiqi back to the bedroom. Then, he put Sheng Minglan on the sofa and called Jing Yin. Fourth sister is in Jingting. Come and take care of her. Young master, men and women should be different. You should let Aunt Wu take care of fourth sister. Jing Yin was still trying to control himself. What nonsense are you talking about? I don't believe you don't know that Grandpa Sheng is interfering with her marriage again. And this time, it's even an Englishman. Aunt Wu can take care of her body, but can she take care of her mood? I'm upstairs and won't go downstairs tonight. Do as you see fit. Fourth sister is lying on the sofa downstairs. No one cares even if she's cold. Jing Yin was sure that Sheng Xiao did it on purpose. But could he leave Sheng Minglan alone? Of course not. If he was at the Sheng family, he would have asked for help. But if he was at Jingting, could he be a little presumptuous? Jing Yin did not think much about it and went to Jingting. When he reached the living room, he saw Sheng Minglan lying on the sofa in her thin clothes. So, he quickly went to the guest room, took out a blanket, and covered Sheng Minglan with it. Perhaps sensing that something was wrong with her body, Sheng Minglan opened her eyes with much difficulty. She struggled to sit up when she saw Jing Yin right in front of her, his face full of worry. Did I forget myself again? No. Jing Yin shook his head. Young master is taking care of Miss Qiqi upstairs. Fifth aunt has gone home so, still half awake. Sheng Minglan sat up and suddenly reached out to caress his cheek. I'd rather marry you than marry some Englishman. Fourth miss. Jing Yin was stunned. Are you unwilling? Do you know what you're saying? Jing Yin's eyes were full of restraint. Sheng Minglan smiled and suddenly threw herself into Jing Yin's arms. Sometimes, I just want to marry someone and be done with it. But I just can't accept it. I don't want to be manipulated. Jing Yin hugged Sheng Minglan, but did not have any improper thoughts. He carried her into the bedroom and stayed by her bedside. Upstairs, Sheng Xiao came downstairs. When he opened the door and saw the scene, he really wanted to smack Jing Yin with a stick. He wanted to see what kind of paste was in his brain. And he wasted such a good chance. Of course, he was not talking about having sex with her. Instead, he was saying that it was a good chance for Jing Yin to tell Sheng Minglan what was on his mind. Even so, he knew very well that Jing Yin would not say anything if he was sure that he could not give Sheng Minglan anything. In the end, Sheng Xiao closed the door and returned to the bedroom upstairs. He was going to teach the little one a lesson. She did not know how to drink, and still got herself drunk. Mu Qiqi was completely unaware that the man on top of her was angry. She only knew that in her days, the man's actions were not gentle at all. Instead, it was punishing. But after that, Mu Qiqi felt very comfortable all over. After all, the man cleaned her up and even massaged her. What an irresistible little one. He did not expect her to wake up tonight. So he would have to wait until tomorrow morning. But when Sheng Minglan woke up in the middle of the night, she was stunned to see Jing Yin sleeping soundly on the bed. But her rationality had returned. Jing Yin must have been scared to death, right? Of course, she could not remember what she said last night. Moreover, since she was awake, she should go home. She could not keep acting like a drunkard here. But when she got off the bed quietly and was about to leave, Jing Yin woke up. Miss Minglan. You sleep. I'm going back. Sheng Minglan turned to Jing Yin. I'll send you. You drank. Jing Yin got up. You can go in alone when you reach the Sheng family. Then I won't say goodbye to Sheng Xiao and the others. Sheng Minglan said. Then they left Jing Ting quietly. In fact, Sheng Xiao knew that. He sighed. It was such a good opportunity for Jing Yin to let Sheng Minglan go home. It seemed that the blockhead could not be enlightened. Not only did he know, he even went downstairs to stop them. Aren't you going to think of a solution here? Are you going to keep crying when you go home? Sheng Minglan saw Sheng Xiao coming downstairs in his black pajamas, and returned. I don't believe you don't want to get rid of the old man's control. But we are different. What's the difference? Do you think the old man would let Qi or marry into his family? Sheng Xiao lifted his chin. He knew everything very well. Think of a solution if you have one. No one has to lower their head and admit defeat to the old man. What's your plan, Sheng Xiao? Tell me first. Do you have someone you like in your heart? Is that important? Sheng Minglan frowned. We are talking about your marriage in the first place. Do you think it's important? Yes or no, it's two different directions to work towards. The difficulty is different too. Sheng Xiao replied. Jing Yin looked at Sheng Minglan. Sheng Minglan looked at Sheng Xiao. And Sheng Xiao looked at them. Chapter 268. Sheng Minglan looked deeply into Sheng Xiao's eyes, and then at her brother. In the end, she simply said, No. How could you not? Sheng Xiao said meaningfully. Then he patted the seat beside him. How can we talk if you don't sit down? Sheng Xiao, now is not the time for jokes. You just have to agree to Grandpa Sheng's engagement. Sheng Xiao told her directly. You want me to agree? When he relaxes, what you need to do is to bring your company to the table. I know you've been preparing for it. When it's time for the engagement ceremony, you can break the engagement on the spot. Then, you can negotiate with Elder Sheng and tell him that he won't interfere with your development for the next 3 years. Otherwise, we'll all see the consequences. You can be so shameless. Why can't you? Sheng Xiao asked in return. Fourth sister, you are a bold person. And the only person who can fight for your freedom is you. Just tell me if you need anything else. As your brother, how can I not help you? Sheng Minglan took a deep breath and said nothing. Since you are going to resist, why don't you make a big fuss? The gentle fourth sister suddenly made such a big fuss. Do you think that Grandpa Sheng, a calculative person, would not know the consequences of forcing you? Moreover, you are determined to be a strong woman. This is to ease the impact of breaking the engagement on Grandpa Sheng. Sheng Minglan clenched her fists. Then she loosened them. You said that you will cooperate with me. Of course I said that. Even if it is for my Jing Yun, I will help you to the best of my ability. In that instant, Sheng Minglan was confused. What does this have to do with Jing Yun? Nothing. Because you are the one who brought him here. Sheng Minglan glared at him. But she still believed Sheng Xiao. Not only because she wanted to take the gamble, but because she knew very well what Sheng Xiao was capable of. Then we have a deal on this matter. Go and take care of Mu Qiqi. I will go back first. Sheng Minglan nodded slightly. Jing Yin, send Miss Minglan off. Sheng Xiao shouted. Understood. Jing Yin nodded calmly. He had heard the conversation between the siblings just now, and he had mixed feelings about it. It turned out that Sheng Minglan had no one she liked. This answer was both comforting and cruel to him. Sheng Xiao smiled as he watched Sheng Minglan leave. Challenging the old man's authority was his favorite thing to do. The old man was getting on in years, and should have stepped down from his position of power a long time ago. Since he chose to torment his children and grandchildren, then he couldn't blame his children and grandchildren for giving him a taste of his own medicine. Suddenly, she was looking forward to seeing fourth sister standing on the stage and breaking off the engagement. A woman with courage should be the prettiest. He just didn't know if Jing Yun would fall head over heels for his fourth sister. When he returned to the room, he saw the little one sleeping soundly. He carried her into his arms. It was only a matter of time before he left the Sheng family. Not only his fourth sister, but sooner or later, he would also have to walk this path. Jing Yun was driving back to Sheng Mansion. Sheng Minglan looked out of the window and suddenly asked him, Am I being unfilial? Miss Minglan, I think there are many kinds of filial piety. If you keep accepting your elders' arrangements and don't think for yourself, then you are just an accessory to your elders. You are not an independent and complete person. Jing Yun answered her. To put it bluntly, The old chairman only treats his children and grandchildren as chess pieces on the chessboard. He might be sincere, because people who play chess will put their energy into it. But do you think he has any feelings? Sheng Minglan fell into deep thought after hearing that. Moreover, if there is anything you need me to do, Miss Minglan, just let me know. Jing Yin had been by Sheng Zhao's side for many years. It was not an exaggeration to say that Jing Yin could be a person who could handle everything on his own even if he was alone. Are you doing this to repay a debt of gratitude? Actually, you don't have to. No. Jing Yin answered Sheng Minglan. I want to be like young master. I want to protect the people I think are important to me. Sheng Minglan was stunned. Of course she was touched. She felt that out of all the siblings in the Sheng family, only when she was with Sheng Xiao could she feel the vitality of life. And Jing Yin was quite influenced by Sheng Xiao. Soon, the two returned to the Sheng family's residence. But it was already dawn. Sheng Minghui might have heard the noise. She went out in her pajamas. When she saw Sheng Minglan coming back with the smell of alcohol, she could not help but smile. Did you go out to get drunk? It has nothing to do with you. Sheng Minglan pushed her away. Move away. Fourth sister. Grandpa has ordered me to find a way to separate Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi. Do you think I will succeed? Hearing that, Sheng Minglan pinned her against the wall. Does hurting your own brother make you happy? Sheng Xiao has never treated me as his sister. Sheng Minglan said excitedly. Do you know how excited I was when Grandpa told me? I couldn't even sleep well last night. You will not succeed, Sheng Minglan said seriously. Not only that, you will kneel in front of Sheng Xiao and beg him to let you go. Fourth sister, you'd better take care of yourself. Aren't you also like a clay bodhisattva crossing the river? Sheng Minglan let go of Sheng Minglan and returned to her room. Because she was angry, Grandpa Sheng had agreed to Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi's engagement. But behind his back, he asked someone to separate them. Was this not despicable? Of course, she should have gotten used to it. But she still had a glimmer of hope for Grandpa Sheng after all these years. But now, she could not hold it in anymore. Since eighth brother had already thought it through, then let's do it. I can't let her suffer here alone. If she was suffering, everyone would suffer together. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi woke up early. Seeing that Sheng Xiao had not left, she quickly sat beside him. Sheng Xiao took the bowl of soup from fifth aunt and put it in front of Mu Qiqi. Drink it. Mu Qiqi was very obedient. She drank the soup in one gulp. How is fourth sister's matter? Fourth sister has her own way. But little one, it's your 19th birthday soon. How do you want to spend it this year? Sheng Xiao changed the topic. Last year, she made a scene at Mu Qiqi's house. But in just a year, she had become the bride of the Sheng family. I just want to spend the whole day with you. Chapter 269. Okay. Mu Qiqi nodded. She was very satisfied with the result. Then she packed her things and went to school. But when she arrived, she saw a huge banner hanging at the school gate. There was only one sentence written on it. Mu Qiqi, I want to woo you. Mu Qiqi glanced at him and quickly went to the classroom, because she remembered what Xiao Xiao said on the way back from Sheng Mansion that night. Old Sheng could not wait to shove men and women around her and Xiao Xiao. It was not easy to do things around Xiao Xiao, but she could be manipulated by anyone, especially in a place like school. Mu Qiqi did not know who put up the banner. She just kept to herself. But when she entered the classroom, she found a sumptuous breakfast and exquisite gifts on her table. Meanwhile, the crowd began to talk among themselves. Isn't Mu Qiqi engaged to the crown prince? How could she go around fooling around? She is really bold. Isn't she afraid that the crown prince would find out? Mu Qiqi threw everything into the trash can and continued her lessons calmly. How could she let old Sheng's plan succeed? There would be fruit juice on the table after class. Lunch would be prepared beforehand. Then, the banner would be hung on the tree again after school. What kind of place was a school? Soon rumors would spread. However, Mu Qiqi did not respond. When school was over, Sheng Xiao was still the one who arrived at school. He smiled when he saw the banner in the school. Mu Qiqi walked out of the classroom. Sheng Xiao took her bag naturally. They got into the car and left together. The crown prince must have seen the banner at the school gate, right? He doesn't care. In my opinion, this is all Crown Prince's doing. Their fiancé's relationship is so good. Why should he worry so much about others? I've asked Jing Yun to contact the school and get the surveillance footage. We will know who it is soon. Sheng Xiao told Mu Qiqi on the way home. Okay, let me handle it when we find him. Mu Qiqi replied. Is it okay? Of course. How else would I be your little one? Mu Qiqi smiled confidently. I want to go back and see my aunt tonight. I wonder how she and the child are doing. If you want to see her, you can bring her to Jingting to stay for a few days. Fifth aunt is also good at preventing miscarriage. She can help her recuperate. I'll ask my uncle for his opinion. This was the first time they had returned to the small villa after their engagement. Because of her advanced age, Susie Pei could only rest in bed. She didn't have a good appetite, so she was in low spirits. But when she saw Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao, her eyes brightened. Qiqi. Aunt, it's all my fault. It's been so many days and I haven't come to see you. Aren't you here now? Susie Pei grabbed her hand and looked at her carefully. You are engaged now. You must love young Master Sheng from now on. I know. What about the Sheng family? Is he easy to get along with? Everything's fine. Mu Qiqi replied. She didn't want to tell Susie Pei that she was in trouble now, because it would make Susie Pei worry. You have to remember, don't belittle yourself. You are also a dignified young lady, not from a small family. Now you have the Shen family and uncle. We are all your reliable arms. Don't be bullied casually. Don't be silent. With Xiao Xiao around, the Sheng family can only stare at you. Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao. She trusted him. Of course, I'm more assured with young Master Sheng around. You must hold each other's hands tightly. Don't let go. Don't be like your mother and father, who regret for the rest of their lives. Your main task now is to take care of yourself and the baby. As for me, I'm going to be 19 soon. And I can carry a lot of things. Now, Mu Qiqi was no longer afraid of him. The family had dinner happily. Lu Wenhua sent them to the door. Qiqi, I've just been promoted to the principal of Eton. So, I'm planning to reveal your identity and your aunt's identity. This way, you will have a political and business background. No one will dare to touch you easily. Uncle, you fought for it. How can I just sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor? Moreover, I'm Xiao Xiao's fiancé now. If there comes a day when I have to rely on my identity to win, I'll come and beg you again. Principal Lu, you don't have to worry about Qi'er. Sheng Xiao knew that the elder meant well, but he could protect his woman. Even if the Sheng family was a dangerous place, he could still let Qi'er do whatever she wanted. I don't ask for much. I just hope that Xiao Qi can live with dignity in the Sheng family. I do. Mu Qiqi told Lu Wenhua firmly. Xiao Xiao gave it to me. That's good. It was already 10 o'clock when the couple returned to Jingting, after visiting Susie Pei. But Jing Yun still sent the surveillance footage. Sheng Xiao gave it to Mu Qiqi. You said it. You can deal with it. You won't even look at it. Sheng Xiao was very confident about that. Let's not talk about whether you have the guts to do it. Who dares to go against me in terms of looks, means, wealth and fitness? Narcissist. Mu Qiqi couldn't help but roll her eyes. But, you don't have to compare yourself with them. These people are just small fries in my heart. Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi by her waist. After dinner, it's a good time to warm up. Aren't you afraid that you'll get *X when you're so diligent? Are you afraid that you won't have sex for the rest of your life? Now that they were officially engaged, he could have as much sex as he wanted. But Mu Qiqi's body would suffer. After Mu Qiqi fell asleep, Sheng Xiao still called Jing Yun. Have you found out who's behind those despicable things in the school? They have something to do with Miss Qi. Jing Yun answered. It was already midnight. She was still sitting in front of the computer. That was the fate of a single dog. After hearing her answer, Sheng Xiao hugged Xiao Qi and laughed. It seems that Miss Qi can't wait to have a taste of the African people. Young master, do you really want to? When have I ever gone back on my words? Since she wants to provoke us, then let's do as she wishes. Help me prepare for the African people. If she does anything, I'll give her a big gift. Anyway, it's just mutual disgust. I understand. Jing Yun nodded. Chapter 270. After making the last call. Jing Yin was about to go to bed when he heard someone knocking on the door. Jing Yin got up and opened the door. He was stunned when he saw Sheng Minglan. Miss Minglan, why are you still awake? I'm preparing for the company. I saw that your room is still lit, so I came to ask you. Is it not convenient for me to come in? No. Jing Yin shook his head. I'm just worried that Miss Minglan might see you and make a fuss about it. You have been in the Sheng family for so many years. Everyone knows what kind of person you are. Don't be afraid. Sheng Minglan entered Jing Yun's room and saw the various gifts he had given her on his desk. They were all from abroad. Are they all here? Other than Miss Minglan, no one else gave me gifts. So they are all here. Jing Yun replied. If you mind. These are your things. Why should I mind? Sheng Minglan smiled and sat down in Jing Yun's room. You must have a lot of experience in doing business with Sheng Xiao. Come quickly. I have a few questions and I want your advice. Being alone with Sheng Minglan in the same space, there was nothing else he could do except for the night in Jingting. Jing Yun was very nervous because he was really afraid that Miss Minglan would be gossiped about. Then, can you finish your questions quickly? Can you go back and rest early? Sheng Minglan could not help but smile when she heard Jing Yun's question. Why do you care about my reputation more than me? Come quickly. Jing Yun walked to Sheng Minglan's side. Although he was very nervous, he still took the documents from Sheng Minglan. And when it came to professional issues, Jing Yun was a completely different person, because he could only be confident when it came to the business world. And when it came to management funds and systems, he was radiant and looked very heroic. Sheng Xiao was a natural manipulator. He liked to take risks and gamble. He was also good at devising strategies. And Jing Yun was the meticulous and precise like an electronic instrument. Sheng Minglan felt something deep in her heart after she heard that. Although women could hold up half the sky now, they were still lacking when it came to intelligence. Because Jing Yun could think and consider all aspects. Rationality was the key to a man's success in his career. When they were done, Sheng Minglan couldn't help smiling. You're no longer the little boy in rags on a snowy night. Miss Four, the questions have been answered. You should return to your room and rest. Sheng Minglan nodded when she saw how serious he was. You should rest early too. As if relieved of a heavy burden, Jing Yun took a deep breath. Still, before Sheng Minglan left his room, she turned to him and asked, with your ability, you could have gone out and made a name for yourself a long time ago. Why would you stay as Sheng Zhao's assistant? If young master needs me, I will follow him for a lifetime. This way, I can protect you forever. Of course, Sheng Minglan didn't know what Jing Yun was thinking. She took the documents and went back to her room. But when she closed the door, her heart suddenly raced. In fact, she had already discussed these issues with the company's risk appraiser. She did not know why, but she could only go to Jing Yun's place in the big Sheng family, so that she would not feel nervous. But Jing Yun was a shy child, so she had to be careful. Grandpa Sheng told her to get in touch with the Englishman, and she did it. If there were no mistakes, it would not be long before the announcement of the engagement was made. Since Grandpa Sheng was pressuring her, she couldn't be blamed for making a bigger fuss than Sheng Xiao. And in Jing Yun's heart, he only hoped that Miss Minglan's dream would come true. The next morning, Mu Qiqi arrived at school as usual. She smiled when she saw the banner hanging in the school. This ice beauty was famous in school, because for Sheng Xiao, she didn't need any friends. She only needed Qianqian. If she made friends, she would have a new social life. So she couldn't go home on time. She felt that it was a burden. Soon, she entered the classroom and threw the breakfast on her table into the dustbin again. Yesterday, she didn't know who the person was. But today it was different. The person was a second-year student in the finance faculty. His name was Xiao Chenhao. He was a rich playboy. His character seemed to be imitating Sheng Xiao. If it wasn't because of that, Sheng Minghui might not be interested in this chess piece. In other words, it was a kind of admiration for Sheng Xiao. Mu Qiqi asked a senior from the finance department about Xiao Chenhao's class today, so she went to the lecture hall early to get a seat. Soon, she saw Xiao Chenhao entering the classroom. He was wearing a sporty outfit and headphones, thinking that he was very cool. Then, the teacher came to the class. But before the class started, Mu Qiqi walked to the front and said to the finance teacher, "Can I have a few minutes of your time? I want to say something." The audience cheered, because everyone knew that it was Mu Qiqi, a first-year student in the forensic science faculty. Although the teacher was a little confused, he still gave up his seat to Mu Qiqi. He wanted to know what Mu Qiqi wanted to do. Then Mu Qiqi walked to the podium. She glanced at all the seniors, especially at Xiao Chenhao's seat. "Seniors, I'm sorry. I have to take up a few minutes of your time, because I have a private matter that I want to solve. Go ahead." The audience wanted to watch a good show, but this time, Mu Qiqi only called out one name. Senior Xiao Chenhao. As Mu Qiqi called out, everyone's eyes were focused on him, including Mu Qiqi herself. "Your behavior has seriously disturbed my normal life. Your banners are everywhere, and it's not environmentally friendly. Also, the breakfast you bought is not nutritious at all. Please don't put it on my table in the future. Otherwise, I'll have to waste time cleaning it up." After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, the whole class cheered. "Wow, I have a family. I don't want to play such ambiguous games with you. Please control yourself, and don't cause me trouble. And I have to say, you should know who my man is, right? How could you do such a stupid thing under such circumstances? What are you thinking? It's fine if you have a problem with your thinking, but don't treat others like idiots. As long as they are not blind, they will know what to do. Don't try to ruin my relationship. I will fight you to the death. That's all I want to say. Please continue." "Teacher, I'm sorry." Then Mu Qiqi bowed deeply to the teacher. Her movement was fast and handsome. Before anyone could react, she had already disappeared at the door of the classroom. "Damn, that's so cool. Xiao Chenhao, I didn't expect you to be the one who caused such a commotion in the past 2 days. What are you thinking? Why did you compete with the crown prince?" Chapter 271. Mu Qiqi was full of thorns. To her, she was not interested in anything other than studying and Sheng Xiao. Such a girl, to others, is cold and cool, but many girls like her, because very few girls can be as cool and unrestrained as her. Before meeting Sheng Xiao, Mu Qiqi was weak and easily bullied. But after being with Sheng Xiao, Mu Qiqi's personality became more and more obvious. Xiao Chenhao did not expect Mu Qiqi to counterattack so quickly. He had prepared a lot of good scenes, but did not get to perform in time. But it did not matter. He liked the exciting Mu Qiqi. Soon, the news that Mu Qiqi went to the finance department to warn Xiao Chenhao spread all over the campus. The girls were talking about it. Mu Qiqi was just a freshman. How could she be so cool? It was totally against the rules. I'm used to seeing those naive girls flirting with different people in the name of not wanting to hurt others. But now, I'm shocked to see Mu Qiqi so determined to defend her feelings. She is not stupid. She already has a crown prince. Who would want a weak girl in school? I quite like Mu Qiqi's character. I was shocked when she chose to study forensic medicine. According to her grades, she is more than qualified to study in the best department in Shengting. Isn't that right? How many people can be like her? She is so clear about what she likes and hates. Because of this incident, the school's impression of Mu Qiqi changed. Moreover, she chose an unpopular major with high grades. Mu Qiqi's cold image was deeply rooted in everyone's heart. She was just a little girl. She came home in a hurry every day. But when they saw her grades were all A+, how could they not admire her? Moreover, she was good at science, which girls hated. I think it's time to change the ranking of the campus bells in Shengting. Please replace those vases. It's not like we don't have beautiful and smart students. Of course, Mu Qiqi could not hear the discussions behind her back. Even if she did, she would not care. In Huangyao, Sheng Xiao watched the video that the finance students had recorded and uploaded to the internet. The smile on his lips widened infinitely. Sure enough, he did not dote on the little one for nothing. Her posture was just like a president taking an oath. He could feel that the little one was very afraid of the outside world destroying their relationship. So, he was not worried about any third party at all. Because the little one's heart was filled with him. Seeing that he was in a good mood, Jingyan took the documents and told him, "The people you want have been arranged. They can be sent to the Sheng family anytime." Then what are we waiting for? Such a good gift. Of course I have to send it to seventh sister as soon as possible. I'm afraid it won't be easy to explain to the old chairman. I'll say it first. The one who provoked me first is AB*TCH. If the old man wants to cause trouble for me, then I know to continue to cause trouble for seventh brother. Sheng Xiao said coldly. I won't let anyone who makes Qi Er unhappy have it easy, because no one has thought of giving in to me. If Sheng Minghui isn't afraid of trouble, why should I be? I understand now. Although Sheng Minghui knew that Sheng Xiao was a lawless person, he would not dare to do anything to her under Grandpa Sheng's watch. But, with Sheng Xiao's character of doing what he said, she was too confident in her own judgment. That night, Sheng Minghui returned to her room after dinner with her family. She took off her clothes and was about to take a shower when she found a dark-skinned man lying in her bathroom. She was startled and screamed. Then, she quickly put on her pajamas and went to Grandpa Sheng's study crying. When Grandpa Sheng knew about it, his face changed. He was very angry. Papa Sheng dialed Sheng Xiao's cell phone right away. What the hell did you do? Come home now. Sheng Xiao had been waiting for the call. He smiled. I'm on my way. Sheng Minghui burst into tears. She was a girl after all. How could she not cry when she encountered such a thing? That was also why old Master Sheng was so angry. On the other hand, Mama Sheng and Sheng Minglan stood at a corner and looked at each other. Sheng Xiao would not do anything if Sheng Minghui did not cross the line. He did not have the time. But since he did, it meant that Sheng Minghui had done something even worse. Why are you in such a hurry to go back to the Sheng family? Mu Qiqi asked, puzzled. Of course I'm going back to watch the show, Sheng Xiao said and quickened his pace. Soon, they reached the main gate of Sheng Mansion. The Shengs were sitting in the living room. Sheng Xiao led Mu Qiqi into the living room. Sheng Minghui cried even louder when she saw them. Grandpa, you have to stand up for me. Grandpa Sheng stomped his walking stick and pointed at Sheng Xiao. You are too much. Your seventh sister is a girl. How could you let a black man bully her? You are a bastard. At that, Sheng Xiao pushed Mu Qiqi to sit beside Mama Sheng. Then he looked at Sheng Minghui and said, I've told you before. If seventh sister had behaved herself, this wouldn't have happened. You are so unfilial. She is your sister. How could she get married in the future? Grandpa, Sheng Minghui cried even harder. I never thought that you would do such a thing to your own sister. You are worse than an animal. I admit that I am not human, Sheng Xiao answered. Sheng Xiao answered Grandpa Sheng. At the same time, he took out his phone from his pocket and threw it in front of Grandpa Sheng. Then I'll ask seventh sister today. What are you trying to do by bribing the students and ruining Qiqi's reputation? Are you trying to make everyone think that she is fooling around and shaming the Sheng family? Are you trying to kick her out of the family? Well, Grandpa, can you tell me what you are trying to do? I admit that I have gone overboard by giving gifts to seventh sister. But what about her? Is it what a sister should do to do such dirty things behind my back? Grandpa Sheng, you are not such a double-standard person, are you? Grandpa Sheng's face flushed when he saw that. Even so, it is your sister's fault. You should just talk to her nicely. Why did you do that? Did she discuss it with me when she hurt Qi Er and me? Moreover, I have told you before. Is there anyone in the Sheng family who doesn't know that I, Sheng Xiao, am a man of my words? I was just scaring you today. If there is a next time, it won't be as easy as tonight, seventh sister. Sheng Xiao warned her coldly. As a member of the Sheng family, you should have the self-awareness of a Sheng. You still want to talk to Grandpa Sheng. Chapter 272. Sheng Minghui certainly couldn't defend herself now that she was caught in the act. Moreover, Sheng Xiao had promised her that he was just fulfilling his promise. So even if Sheng Minghui cried and screamed, no one would sympathize with her. In fact, she had angered Mama Sheng. Sheng Minghui, I've always treated you well. But why do you have to go against Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao again and again? I really didn't expect you to be so vicious that you would let someone ruin Mu Qiqi's reputation in school. What good would that do to you? At first, I wanted to apologize to you for what my son did. But now that the truth is out, I really can't help but say that you deserve it. Father, don't blame me for being vicious. As an elder, I've always taken good care of Sheng Minghui, but I didn't expect that she would do this to my son and daughter-in-law. Even if your father was here today, you wouldn't be able to reason with him. All right, aren't the two of them about the same thing? Turning the Sheng family upside down over such a small matter. In fact, what Grandpa Sheng wanted to say was that the whole family had turned into such a mess because of an outsider like Mu Qiqi. But he wasn't in the position to speak up for either Sheng Xiao or Sheng Minghui. In the end, he flung his sleeves and simply ignored it. Don't come to me with such things in the future. Just let it go. Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Minghui fearlessly. If Sheng Minghui wanted to keep fighting, he would fight her to the end. You'll regret it one day when you treat your siblings like this, because of an outsider. Helpless, Sheng Minghui could only return to her room angrily, while Sheng Xiao had to accept the rest of the Sheng family's nagging. Bastard. She's still my sister. How could she ruin someone's reputation like this? Papa Sheng cursed. In fact, everyone knew that if Sheng Xiao really wanted to ruin Sheng Minghui's reputation, he wouldn't have brought her to the Sheng family, or let her lie in her bathtub. It was just to intimidate her, and remind her to be self-conscious. Everyone knew that Sheng Minghui wouldn't be harmed in the Sheng family's territory. It's fine, Sheng Xiao. You didn't do anything wrong. Mama Sheng and her husband were opposing each other. He waved at Mu Qiqi. Let's go home, cheer. Moreover, before he left, he winked at Sheng Minglan, reminding her that she had to prepare what she needed in advance. Although they had a big fight with Sheng Minghui tonight, everyone knew that the one who really wanted to deal with Mu Qiqi was Grandpa Sheng. On the way home, Mu Qiqi stared at Sheng Xiao and said nothing for a long time, which forced Sheng Xiao to ask, "You've been peeking for so long. What do you want to say? We've only been engaged for a few days, and you're already fighting with the Sheng family. You're in charge of the school's affairs, and I'm in charge of the Sheng family's affairs. No matter how many times you cause trouble, someone has to restrain himself. Someone might be afraid, but I'm not afraid of trouble. But the Sheng family would lose even the slightest bit of kinship for me." Sheng Xiao snorted and parked the car in his garage. "Do you think the Sheng family had that before you showed up? Xiao Xiao, it's getting late. Let's go home and sleep." Sheng Xiao got out of the car and entered Jingting. Mu Qiqi followed behind him. Suddenly, she stepped forward and hugged him tightly. "Don't be angry. It's good that you know I'm angry." Sheng Xiao smiled slowly. You have to understand that if words work in the Sheng family, I won't target my own family. I won't give in to the people who hurt you. So when it's time to fight, when it's time to fight, when it's time to fight, I'll protect you as long as I live." "I know." Mu Qiqi answered obediently. Only Sheng Xiao could make her submit to him willingly, because this man did it for her, and she had no right to question him, even though she was afraid that Sheng Xiao would lose his family because of her. Hearing Mu Qiqi's answer, Sheng Xiao turned around and hooked his arm around Mu Qiqi's head. Then he lowered his head and kissed her. "You heartless little thing. How am I heartless?" Mu Qiqi reached out her hand and aroused the man's lust. Then it got out of hand. Sheng Xiao pressed her against the door and kissed her from the door to the living room. They fell on the sofa. Then, Mu Qiqi turned around and said seductively, "Don't move." Sheng Xiao did not move. He just looked at Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi found the man's sensitive spot and kissed him. Sheng Xiao's eyes changed color immediately. "Little thing, you're asking for death." "Shoo." Mu Qiqi stopped him and smiled at him. "Tonight, I want to be the one on top." "You." Sheng Xiao was disdainful. This little one was used to being served by him. Now she wanted to be the one taking the initiative? "Let's go back to our room." On the other hand, Sheng Minghui was shivering in her room. She was afraid that another black man would appear in the room at any time. If that happened, her reputation would be ruined. She really did not expect Sheng Xiao to be so decisive. He would treat his sister like that just for Mu Qiqi. He was crazy. He was really crazy. Sheng Minghui was very unwilling. But what could she do when even Grandpa could not do anything to Sheng Xiao? Thinking of this, Sheng Minghui turned on all the lights in the room and locked the door. Sheng Xiao, she would never forget this grudge. Just like that, Sheng Minghui could not sleep for the whole night. She felt so wronged. She went to Grandpa Sheng early in the morning to make a scene. Grandpa, if you don't control him, just wait and see. Sheng Xiao will become more and more arrogant to his family because of Mu Qiqi. Isn't he just relying on the fact that he is the crown prince, and you dote on him? As long as Grandpa gives him a lesson, I don't believe he will still be so arrogant. Of course, Grandpa Sheng wanted to teach his grandson a lesson, so that he would be more obedient. But Sheng Minghui's words were too kind. That's because you don't know how much business eighth brother can get for Huang Yao in a day. No matter how difficult the contract is, as long as eighth brother is involved, there's nothing he can't do. In this matter, Grandpa Sheng still protected his grandson. After all, as the young lady of the Sheng family, Sheng Minghui had never made any contribution. Grandpa, I really can't take this lying down. Chapter 273. There was nothing Sheng Minghui could do no matter how angry she was. Who asked her to be a girl? It was an indisputable fact that Grandpa Sheng favored Sheng Xiao more. And since Grandpa Sheng told her to wait for a chance, she would wait. Your fourth sister is going to get engaged soon. You should calm down. Does that mean that fourth sister is with that Englishman? Sheng Minghui's attention was indeed diverted. Your fourth sister has agreed. Why? Are you still not satisfied? Grandpa Sheng asked dangerously. Sheng Minghui quickly waved him off. Grandpa, you're wrong about that. Of course I wish fourth sister the best she can find her own happiness. She was not wishing Sheng Minghui well. She was clearly just watching the drama unfold. As a woman herself, how could she not know how upset Xing Minglan was? Who would want to be a pawn and marry off to the head of some conglomerate? That better be the case. Grandpa Sheng snorted coldly. He had a detailed discussion with Sheng Minglan in the morning. Since Sheng Minglan had always been obedient and had never rejected him, Sheng Minglan decided to let him make the decision for this engagement. Minglan, Grandpa wants to see you happy the most. The world out there is too messed up. Look at who Sheng Xiao is messing with. Sheng Minglan did not react, but she was sneering inwardly. A marriage alliance is a marriage alliance. Why bother with such pompous words to discuss people? I'll let you decide, Grandpa. Minglan, you're the one who gives me peace of mind. Unknowingly, she had started to feign civility with Grandpa Sheng. She clearly remembered that Grandpa Sheng doted on them when they were young, but everything changed after she became an adult. Grandpa Sheng was no longer the loving grandfather she used to be, and she was no longer naive and innocent. Sheng Minglan did not refuse anything. She did not even show any displeasure. Grandpa Sheng thought that she had accepted her fate. But only Sheng Minglan and Sheng Xiao knew what kind of show was waiting for him next. More importantly, Jing Yun was investigating the Englishman's background. He found out that he already had a daughter and was divorced once. Jing Yun showed the document to Sheng Minglan. Sheng Minglan had nothing to say, but feel even more disgusted. Do you think Grandpa doesn't know about this? He knows. Miss Minglan. I'm fine. Sheng Minglan took a deep breath and looked out the window. How much hope do you think I have for Grandpa? You still have young master to help you. This winter is really cold. Sheng Minglan got up and walked to the French window. She looked at the withered leaves outside and felt sad. Jing Yun, you should go back. I know what I should do. I won't be soft-hearted. Jing Yun nodded and returned to his room. Although he was indebted to the Sheng family, he hated Grandpa Sheng's way of doing things. He just didn't have the right to be calculative. Now that Sheng Minglan was in such a predicament, he would certainly do his best. If that Englishman had not been married twice, he might not have been so determined to use all his savings to help Sheng Minglan. What kind of grandfather would sell out his granddaughter like that? The next day, Sheng Xiao got the news from Jing Yun. After reading the information, he snorted. That's more like the old man. Young master, will fourth Mrs. plan be foolproof? No plan is foolproof, but we will try our best to minimize the risk. Jing Yun nodded. He took out a gold card from his pocket and put it in front of Sheng Xiao. I don't know how to help Miss Minglan. This is all the savings I have in the Sheng family over the years. I hope it can help Miss Minglan, but if I give it to her, she will definitely not accept it. So, Sheng Xiao looked at the gold card on the table with interest. You want me to help you? Young master, I didn't ask you for anything. I just hope that Miss Minglan will not marry that man who has been married twice. Otherwise, everything will be meaningless. Sheng Xiao crossed his legs and clasped his hands together. He looked at Jing Yun with interest. It's not difficult for me to help you. Just tell me if you like fourth sister. I will help you without hesitation. Young master, why do you have to force me? Then give it to me yourself. Yes. Jing Yun answered simply. I've liked Miss Minglan since a long time ago. But I know it's just wishful thinking. You're still not being honest in front of me. Sheng Xiao put away the gold card and looked at Jing Yun. I will do it for you. Thank you, young master. But you have already taken out all your savings. Do you have any plans for the future? I can still earn more. Sheng Xiao looked at the gold card in his hand. He knew that there was a lot of money in it. Because Jing Yun had been working for him all these years, his salary was already very good. Moreover, with Jing Yun's own investment, the money in the card could be 8 or 9 figures. If he did such a thing without letting fourth sister know, would someone as foolish as Jing Yun still have to smile and marry someone else in the future? But Sheng Xiao knew very well that it would not be easy for a blockhead like Jing Yun to take the initiative. At night, when Mu Qiqi returned home, she saw a gold card in front of Sheng Xiao. She immediately said, I have enough money to spend. You overconfident little thing. Jing Yun wants to give this to fourth sister. Sheng Xiao told Mu Qiqi. So, Jing Yun really likes fourth sister, right? Mu Qiqi climbed up Sheng Xiao's legs and wrapped her arms around his neck. But from the looks of it now, Jing Yun would not add to fourth sister's burden even if he dies. So he won't say anything. What a stubborn fool. Ask fourth sister for a drink with this card, and ask her to accept it. Sheng Xiao buried his head in Mu Qiqi's chest. Consider it as fulfilling that fool's wish. Then shouldn't we tell fourth sister at all? What if she really likes someone else in the future? That's his own fault, Yi Zichen said. Mu Qiqi thought long and hard, but couldn't decide if she should help. Sheng Minglan didn't appear to be able to accept a relationship between a younger brother and a sister. Even if they were only 2 or 3 years apart, she only treated him as a younger brother. But what if fourth sister was like Jing Yun and kept it a secret? Still, she was afraid that if she exposed the matter, they would not be able to be friends anymore. Why was Jing Yun so infatuated? I'm really defeated by Jing Yun's cautiousness. I still want to help him test fourth sister. Mu Qiqi said to Sheng Xiao unconvinced. Xiao Xiao, help me think of something. You called me the wrong person. Sheng Xiao reminded her. Chapter 274. Sheng Xiao stroked Mu Qiqi's head and looked like he was enjoying it. There's no other way. Just drink with fourth sister a few more times, and she will naturally open her heart to you. Mu Qiqi knew that she had been tricked. She quickly pushed Sheng Xiao away and got off his lap. Boring. Seeing that, Sheng Xiao quickly pulled her down and pinned her on his lap to give her a spanking. Little one, your temper is getting worse. You're the one who taught me. Talking about me is the same as talking about yourself. Sheng Xiao was speechless. She was asking for it. Soon, Grandpa Sheng called the Sheng family for dinner. The reason was simple. He was going to announce Sheng Minglan's engagement to a British tycoon who owned a high-end fashion empire. Of course, when they got engaged, the 2 super corporations would also sign a strategic partnership agreement. It was literally selling his granddaughter. In Grandpa Sheng's eyes, it was double happiness. Mu Qiqi was there too. She looked at Sheng Minglan worriedly when she heard Grandpa Sheng's announcement. Fourth sister, on the other hand, did not react at all. She appeared especially calm. It will be on the 8th of next month, before Huang Yao's event. Minglan, you must be prepared. Sheng Minglan put down her cutlery and nodded at Grandpa Sheng's instructions. I know, Grandpa. Congratulations, fourth sister. You've got such a good marriage. Seventh sister raised her wine glass and congratulated Sheng Minglan. Now that fourth sister is married, it's your turn. Seventh sister, I congratulate you too. They clinked glasses, but neither of them was sincerely congratulating Sheng Minglan. On the other hand, seventh sister did not bother Mu Qiqi that night. She was restraining herself and quietly waiting for the opportunity that Grandpa Sheng had mentioned. Of course, she did not expect that the opportunity would come so soon. Everyone in the Sheng family had different thoughts during dinner, and it was tasteless. After dinner, Mu Qiqi stopped Sheng Minglan and winked at her. Fourth sister, let's go to Jingting for a drink tonight. Eighth brother is willing to let me take away your good night. Of course. It's not like I'm holding him up. She would not stop exercising just because she was drunk. Sheng Minglan nodded and left the house with Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao. Old Sheng saw that and asked Mama Sheng. Fourth sister seems to be quite close to Mu Qiqi. Isn't she? It's already so late, yet you're still following me out. Fourth sister is a gentle child. Because of her gentleness, she keeps all her troubles to herself. She and Mu Qiqi are kindred spirits. Do you mind if they talk to each other occasionally? Mama Sheng knew Grandpa Sheng's weakness very well. Everyone in the family knew that the Englishman had remarried. Sheng Minglan agreed on the surface, but it did not mean that she felt good inside. Grandpa Sheng was speechless. But at the same time, he found a way to teach Mu Qiqi a lesson. Since that's the case, let them be. But when they returned to the study, Grandpa Sheng went to look for Papa Sheng. He sat on the chair and asked him, Huang Yao's VVIP night this year hasn't been decided yet, right? Dad, what do you think? Currently, the planning department has yet to submit a proposal. As you know, every year, the VVIP night would cause dissatisfaction among the super members. The planning department is also at their wits' end when it comes to dealing with those rich wives. So I think it's safer to do it the usual way. Let Mu Qiqi handle this year's event. What? Papa Sheng was stunned. Dad, Mu Qiqi is just a student. She doesn't know anything. How can she take on such a heavy responsibility? But she is also Sheng Xiao's fiancée. Sheng Xiao is the crown prince of Huang Yao and his future wife. How can she know nothing about the family business? She is a member of the Shen family. Let her test the waters. If she can't do it, it's not too late for you to do it the usual way. For a moment, Papa Sheng thought that Grandpa Sheng must be out of his mind to let Mu Qiqi handle such a thing. Mu Qiqi, she was just a student of forensic science. What did she know? Did she know diamonds? Did she know how to run a business? Did she know how to run a business? Just do as I say. I want to see if Mu Qiqi has the talent in this field, and whether she can help Sheng Xiao a little. Dad, are you really going to admit Mu Qiqi's identity? It's true that she is a member of the Shen family, but her background always makes me feel uncomfortable, especially when she grew up in the Mu family. Don't you feel scared when Sheng Xiao pampers her? There must be a reason why I asked you to arrange it. Just do it. The old man didn't explain too much. Papa Sheng took a deep breath. In the end, he could only nod and do as he was told. I understand. Even so, Papa Sheng still felt that it was a fantasy. Why did Grandpa Sheng make such an arrangement? He had two reasons. First, it was to break Mu Qiqi's confidence. He wanted her to know that she could not stay by Sheng Xiao's side for a long time. Second, if Mu Qiqi succeeded, he would give the credit to Sheng Minghui. It would lay the foundation for Sheng Minghui to work in Huang Yao. In short, whether it was a success or a failure, it was a trap that Grandpa Sheng had dug for Mu Qiqi. Meanwhile, Mu Qiqi and the others had just returned to Jingting. After Sheng Xiao made room for the two ladies, he went to the study so that they could have a heart-to-heart talk. Holding the goblet, Mu Qiqi put the gold card on the table and pushed it to Sheng Minglan. This is a little gift from me and Xiao Xiao. Consider it a stake in your company. Sheng Minglan's eyes darkened, but she did not take it. I don't need money. The stronger you are, the greater your chance of winning. Even if you don't use it, you can keep it by your side to protect yourself. That way Xiao Xiao and I can rest assured. Xiao Qi. Fourth sister, I don't have many friends. I'm used to being bullied since I was young. People around me always laugh at me. Then, I met Qianqian. But you must have heard about what happened to her. We can't meet often, because I don't want to hurt her eyes with my happiness. And now, you are the only one I can talk to. If you refuse, I will think that you don't really treat me as a family. Sheng Minglan thought about it. Then she nodded. I'll let Sheng Xiao buy the shares. Let the lawyer distribute the shares. I don't care how you use it. Mu Qiqi smiled when she saw that Sheng Minglan had accepted the money. They clinked glasses. Actually, you can go out and make friends. Does Sheng Xiao want to restrict your freedom? Chapter 275. You see him as your whole life. Isn't Xing Xiao your first love? Yeah, fourth sister. Tell me about your first love too. Mu Qiqi went with the flow and asked Sheng Minglan. I already know about my relationship with that scumbag. It doesn't count. But I only have that relationship. Sheng Minglan suddenly chuckled. You're lying. Mu Qiqi lied. Which girl doesn't have a Prince Charming when they're young? Sheng Minglan hugged the bottle of red wine and thought for a long time. Finally, she remembered the night she first met Jing Yin. Do you know how I felt when I first met Jing Yin? She suddenly mentioned Jing Yin. Mu Qiqi perked up at once. I've never seen such a beautiful boy. Even Sheng Xiao can't compare to him. Sheng Xiao only became handsome after he grew up. But Jing Yin has always been beautiful. I think I brought him home because he's handsome. Sheng Minglan chuckled. As for the rest, she had a vague impression of the man. Memories are always so beautiful. That's why you remember it so clearly, fourth sister. Sheng Minglan smiled sweetly as if she had returned to that time. Mu Qiqi knew that fourth sister might have had feelings for Jing Yin all along, although she herself didn't know what kind of feelings it was. Soon the two women were drunk. Sheng Xiao went to the living room after his shower. He shook his head and was convinced. Little one, you really know how to find alcohol. You're drinking like a cow that costs millions. Then, he carried Mu Qiqi back to the bedroom and called Jing Yin. Fourth sister is drunk in Jingting. Come and take care of her. Young master. I still have a drunk little one in my hand. Do you understand? Jing Yin had no choice but to leave the Sheng family's house. When he reached Jingting, he carried Sheng Minglan to the bed in the guest room. That was when Sheng Minglan vaguely opened her eyes. When she saw the beautiful boy in front of her, she couldn't help reaching out and caressing Jing Yin's face. You're still as handsome as before. Jing Yin did a double take. He didn't know what she was talking about, so he simply tucked her in and stayed by her side. Upstairs, Sheng Xiao was bathing the drunkard. Although he was the one who asked this little thing to be a spy, seeing this little thing vomit made his heart ache. I won't let you drink anymore. Mu Qiqi grunted and fell into Sheng Xiao's arms. She soon fell into a deep sleep because of the alcohol. Sheng Xiao did nothing and quietly returned to the living room to clean up the mess. Sheng Minglan woke up when the sun was rising. She couldn't help but feel touched when she saw that Jing Yin was still by her side. Slowly, Jing Yin opened his eyes to find Sheng Minglan sitting on the edge of the bed without saying a word. Lowering his head, he helped her put on her shoes. Miss Minglan, do you feel uncomfortable? Actually, I don't need you to guard me. Jingting should be very safe. You have to go home when you wake up. Try not to drive after drinking. Jing Yin found a perfect excuse. If there's a next time, you can sleep in another room. You feel uncomfortable lying here. Okay. Jing Yin agreed. He saw the gold card in Sheng Minglan's pocket, so she accepted it. Thinking of this, he felt a little relieved. He quietly left Jingting with Sheng Minglan. But he didn't expect that Aunt Wu would come to Jingting so early to make breakfast. Aunt Wu was confused when she saw them coming out of the guest room. She must have misunderstood. Assistant Jing, is she your girlfriend? Jing Yin was about to explain when Sheng Xiao came downstairs in his formal attire. Aunt Wu, please prepare 2 more sets of cutlery. Yes, Mr. Sheng. Sheng Xiao did it on purpose. He didn't give Jing Yin a chance to explain. Sheng Minglan couldn't help but stare at him. Why do you always ask Jing Yin to come and take care of me? I don't feel at ease letting others enter Jingting. Besides, isn't Jing Yin upright enough? Sheng Xiao shrugged and brushed Sheng Minglan off. Let's go back after breakfast. Aunt Wu has prepared everything anyway. Sheng Minglan blushed. She sat down at the dining table. Sheng Xiao and Jing Yin followed suit. Your servant must have misunderstood our relationship. Just let it be. Aunt Wu is already so old. Why do you need to explain? Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Minglan and said. Moreover, Aunt Wu is not a meddlesome person. She doesn't like to talk too much. Sheng Minglan stopped talking. She didn't know why, but she suddenly didn't dare to look at Jing Yin's expression. Just like that, the atmosphere became awkward. Obviously, they could get along very naturally in the past. Because of the intimacy they had in the past 2 nights, she suddenly felt that she should keep a distance from Jing Yin. Sheng Xiao glanced at them. At the same time, Jing Yun received a call from Papa Sheng. It was because Grandpa Sheng wanted Mu Qiqi to be in charge of the VVIP night in Huangyao. So he gave the order the next morning. Jing Yun frowned after he heard it. There were so many Shengs in the family. There was also a planning department. It was impossible for Mu Qiqi to be in charge of this. But Grandpa Sheng wanted Mu Qiqi to be in charge? Young master, there's trouble. Sheng Xiao glanced at Jing Yun. There was a sharp light in his eyes. Then, he learned the content of Papa Sheng's call from Jing Yun. What is Grandpa trying to do? Sheng Minglan was puzzled. This is a hot potato. Handing it to Xiao Qi. What is he trying to do? Nominally, he wants to test Qi ability. But in fact, he wants to tell Qi to back off. If she doesn't do it well, how would Qi have any face in the Sheng family? Don't you think seventh sister would use this against her? Sheng Xiao snorted coldly. Then what should we do? Grandpa has already arranged it. Then do it. Sheng Xiao said calmly. But Xiao Qi doesn't have any experience. Fourth sister, you don't know Qi. Do you think a person who dabbles in physics and chemistry doesn't have the ability and talent? Sheng Xiao asked in return. So what if she doesn't have experience? I'll just teach her. If you teach her and succeed, Grandpa will give the credit to you, because you are the crown prince of Huangyao. Xiao Qi won't be recognized. But they had oversimplified the whole thing. Because Grandpa Sheng wanted to give all the credit to Sheng Minghui. Of course, the premise was that Mu Qiqi could really hold an outstanding VVIP night. Chapter 276. The few of them were in full swing. But the person involved in this matter was still kept in the dark, completely ignorant. I know how to take care of my own people. You just need to focus on your engagement. You don't have to worry about anything else. Sheng Xiao told Sheng Minglan not to be distracted. Since Grandpa Sheng wanted to make things difficult for Qi, he would wait and see. In fact, he also wanted to know what new things the little one could come up with. He never interfered with the planning department's affairs. Therefore, other than attending Huang Yao's events, he rarely asked about them. As for the VVIP night, there had been countless teams, but the smell of gunpowder seemed to have become a tradition of the VVIP night. Every year on this day, there would be some extremely unpleasant cases. No wonder Papa Sheng only wanted to do it normally to reduce the risk. Since you are so confident, I can only look forward to it. I'm afraid the little one will explode if she knows. The three of them could not help but laugh. Sheng Minglan was really envious of the relationship between Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi. Although they were 8 years apart and were uncle and niece, they never had to bear the shackles. If they loved each other, they would treat each other as their own lives. After breakfast, Sheng Minglan and Jing Yun left. Only then did Mu Qiqi get up lazily. Sheng Xiao had been laughing ever since she came down the stairs. He did not stop even when she sat down. Mu Qiqi sat on his lap, puzzled. What are you up to? It's not me. It's someone else. With that he chuckled again, and Mu Qiqi became even more curious. I'll tell you after you finish eating. Of course, the news spread all over the Sheng family the next day. They all thought that Grandpa Sheng was crazy. How could he give such a difficult task to a girl who did not know anything? Wouldn't Huang Yao become a joke in the eyes of others? Sheng Minghui went straight to the garden to look for Grandpa Sheng. Grandpa, didn't you say that Mu Qiqi can never enter the Sheng family? Why are you? I'm doing this to pave the way for you. Grandpa Sheng answered her while sipping his coffee. If Mu Qiqi does well in the event, you will get the credit. So don't interfere in this. How could she do it well? Don't forget, she has 8th brother. In the past, 8th brother never cared about the planning. This time I'm sure he won't either. Grandpa Sheng pushed his glasses up and said to 7th brother, as long as the event is successful, you can use this credit to enter Huang Yao. Sheng Minghui's face turned into a flattering one. Grandpa, I knew it. You are the best to me. So don't bother Mu Qiqi this time. Sheng Minghui was about to reply when she saw Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan returning from outside. She was immediately suspicious. Grandpa, why is 4th sister always with Sheng Zhao's assistant? 4th sister's engagement is just around the corner. It would be bad if there were any bad rumors. Fourth sister was at Jingting last night, so of course eighth brother sent Jingyin to pick her up. Why are your thoughts so complicated? Grandpa Sheng snorted. I'm just thinking about fourth sister's reputation. I won't worry even if you have half of Jingyun's ability, let alone eighth brother. Although Grandpa Sheng did not say it out loud, he still went to Jingyin and asked him about it. I saw you and Minglan coming back together this morning. What happened? Young master called me to pick fourth sister up. She was drunk and couldn't drive. Okay. As expected, Grandpa Sheng was satisfied with Jingyun's explanation. If that's the case, you can go. But Minglan's engagement is just around the corner. You must keep a distance from her since there is a gap in status. I know, Chairman. Jingyin nodded. Because of the gap in status, Jingyun would try his best to control himself. He only hoped that Sheng Minglan could be happy. He was willing to do anything else. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi's head was about to explode when she learned that she had been entrusted with such an important task. So your grandpa wants me, a student who is learning how to dissect a human body, to participate in Huang Yao's event? Mu Qiqi pointed at her nose to confirm with Sheng Xiao. Is his brain damaged? His brain is not damaged. He is very smart. Sheng Xiao smiled. Then why didn't you stop him? Sheng Xiao comforted his little one while kissing her hair. Now that the whole Sheng family knows about it, how could he take it back? And as my fiancé, it is perfectly reasonable for you to participate in Huang Yao's event. Moreover, the holidays are coming soon. You have time. Just treat it as a social practice. I am a forensic doctor. I cut up corpses. I don't need social practice like planning an event. Just try it. Sheng Xiao insisted. Why do I smell a conspiracy? Mu Qiqi felt something was wrong. But since you think I can do it, I will try it. But first, don't blame it on me if I mess it up. Grandpa Sheng is waiting for you to blame it on him. Mu Qiqi turned and wanted to glare at him. But Sheng Xiao quickly added. But I won't give him the chance. That's more like it. Show me the information. After I finish my homework, I will try to plan it. Grandpa Sheng just wants to see me embarrass myself. It's not a big deal. So in the end, Mu Qiqi gladly accepted the dilemma. After all, she really wanted to prove to Grandpa Sheng and the Sheng family that she had the ability to match Xiao Xiao. But what she did not know was that Grandpa Sheng was paving the way for his granddaughter. He only wanted to humiliate or use her, and had no intention of acknowledging her at all. To put it bluntly, she was making a wedding dress for someone else. By the way, I have something to tell you. I think Jingyin has a place in fourth sister's heart. Meanwhile, in the office of Sheng Minglan's new company, the lawyer came up with his answer a few hours after Sheng Minglan had asked him to investigate the source of the funds on the gold card. Miss Sheng, the owner of the gold card is not the crown prince. What do you mean? The owner of the card is called Zhao Lin, but I couldn't find any information about her. That is why I am worried that the source of the funds is not clean. The lawyer told Sheng Minglan. You should ask the crown prince. Sheng Minglan nodded and called Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao, who is Zhao Lin? What? You asked Mu Qiqi to transfer the gold card to me. The owner is called Zhao Lin. Don't you want to tell me who the money is? Sheng Minglan noticed the problem. Chapter 277. What the hell is going on? Sheng Minglan was shocked when she saw the amount. If it wasn't Sheng Xiao, who else could come up with such a huge sum of money? Of course, it was just a small amount for Huang Yao. But for her, such a sum of money was like a hot potato in her hand. The reason why the money is not under my name is to prevent Grandpa Sheng from finding out. So he used someone else's account. Or do you want others to know that we are in an alliance? But you are not familiar with this Zhao Lin just now. Fourth sister, you know what kind of person your brother is. He only remembers the important people. Of course, he needs to react to these unimportant people. Sheng Xiao answered smoothly. If you think that I am not thinking clearly, I will change my gold card. No need. My lawyer is just trying to figure out the source of the money. It is their job. Since Sheng Xiao had explained, Sheng Minglan had no reason to doubt him. She said to the lawyer, the money is not a problem. Okay, Miss Sheng. Since it was Sheng Xiao who gave it to her, Sheng Minglan had no reason to doubt him. She had already called him. She should be relieved. But she did not know why. But she felt that something was not right. On the other hand, when Sheng Xiao answered the call, Jing Yun was beside him. When he saw Sheng Xiao put down his phone, he quickly thanked his young master. "Thank you, young master. You used your money and it became my shares. What do you have to thank me for?" Sheng Xiao mocked him. Jing Yun did not say anything. His purpose was simple. He wanted to increase Sheng Minglan's leverage against Grandpa Sheng. Silly. Sheng Xiao seemed to remember someone saying that those who looked cold were actually fanatical for one person. That saying had been proven true by Jing Yun. Soon night fell. Mu Qiqi returned home from school and had dinner with Sheng Xiao. Then, she went to Sheng Xiao's study. Sheng Xiao looked away from the computer and looked at her. "Don't you need to prepare for the final exam? Everything is ready." Mu Qiqi put down the documents in her hand. She propped her head on her hand and looked at the man beside her. He was wearing a dark blue turtleneck sweater. He looked so handsome. "You didn't look when I took off my clothes, but now you want more." Sheng Xiao sneered and turned off the computer. He hugged her and asked, "Tell me, what do you want? Why is it that every year during Huang Yao's VVIP night, something unpleasant always happens? I want to know the root of the problem. That way, I can find a cure for it." Sheng Xiao never bothered to read the reports from the planning department. To him, there was no need for the planning department to exist. The proposals they submitted were always for insurance. There was no innovation to speak of. "We have to start from a pair of high-class customers of Huang Yao. The daughters-in-law of the Lu family are sworn enemies. Although they are Huang Yao's most loyal customers, they are also a big trouble. Every year on the VVP night, the two of them would compete with each other. I still don't quite understand." Mu Qiqi sat on Sheng Xiao and listened carefully to his story. Every year, Huang Yao invites the top 50 VIPs to attend the VVIP banquet. And this pair of rich wives have been fighting for the first place for years. Are they fighting because of each other's husbands? No. The eldest Mrs. Lu was the wife of the second son of the Lu family. But the second son cheated on her and slept with another woman. After they divorced, the second son married his current wife, and the eldest Mrs. Lu married the second son's eldest brother. So that's how it works. Mu Qiqi was amazed. So it was understandable that the two women would fight each other every day. However, the VVIP night of Huang Yao was a founding tradition. It could not be cancelled just because of the two women. But, the two of them always moved the battlefield to the VVIP night. That was why the planning department was so nervous. They burned incense every day, hoping that the night would be peaceful. It's basically a dead end. The people of Huang Yao have racked their brains, but could not find a solution. The planning department is always in a mess on this day every year. But this year, they will probably set off firecrackers, because Grandpa Sheng has found a new target. It's not their fault. Grandpa is just too evil. Mu Qiqi could not help but pout. How could he put such a difficult task on me? What else do you think? Sheng Xiao pinched the tip of Mu Qiqi's nose. Then are the two brothers of the Lu family not getting along? Not really. The Lu family just watched them fight over the years, and did not do anything. Sheng Xiao explained, and laughed when he saw Mu Qiqi fall silent. So, are you confident enough to solve it? Such a deep grudge. It's not easy. Mu Qiqi rested her chin on her hand, and pretended to think. Little one, you still have time to think. Mu Qiqi nodded. She had a feeling that many big things were about to happen. Then, is there no activity in Huang Yao this Christmas? It's a regular activity. So, I can spend Christmas with you this year. With that, Sheng Xiao turned Mu Qiqi's head, and kissed her on the lips. It was soft, sticky, and very tasty. Of course, Mu Qiqi was not in a hurry at all. There were so many people in the planning department who could not come up with a solution. She could not solve it immediately. She was not a god. Still, when Sheng Xiao's kiss deepened, she suddenly put a finger over his lips. I want the information on the two young masters of the Lu family. You can see it when you come home from school tomorrow. Mu Qiqi was satisfied. Only then did she throw away the information in her hand and return Sheng Xiao's kiss. In 2 days, it would be her birthday. She remembered how she had to fight for Mu Tongshua's love and warmth last year. Now a year had passed and she still did not receive any love from the Mu family. But now she had a fiancé by her side. Mu Qiqi could only hope that time could slow down when she remembered how hard it was to get this moment of happiness. Just a little slower, soon. The study became a playground for the two of them. Winter in Jianchuan was not especially cold, but there were bone-chilling winds. Late at night, Jing Yun saw the Englishman sending Sheng Minglan home from the balcony of his room. He automatically moved away, only to find Sheng Minglan appearing at his door moments later. "Can we have a chat inside?" Jing Yun did a double take and nodded. "But not next time. You are the fourth daughter of the Sheng family, and I am just a little assistant." "Jing Yun, you know that I have never looked down on you." "I know. But fourth miss, gossip is a fearful thing." Chapter 278. You misunderstood me, seventh sister. Jing Yun explained calmly. "I wouldn't have misunderstood you if you didn't say that. After all, you have been with the Sheng family for so many years, and fourth sister was the one who brought you here. I think it's normal for you two to be close. Now that you put it that way, I don't understand. What did I misunderstand?" Sheng Minghui shrugged as she asked the two of them, and entered Jing Yun's room. When she saw the gifts on Jing Yun's desk, she knew who gave them to him. She couldn't help smiling. "Jing Yun, you really care about fourth sister, don't you? Fourth sister is my savior. It's good that you don't have any improper thoughts. You should know that fourth sister is not someone an orphan like you can reach. That's enough." Sheng Minglan scolded Sheng Minghui. "You should know whose assistant this person is standing in front of you." "I know. You should look at the owner before beating a dog." Sheng Minghui laughed and walked out of the room. "Then I won't disturb you anymore." Sheng Minglan was very angry, but Jing Yun stopped her. "There's no need to fight with her because of me, but in my heart, you and Sheng Xiao are the same." "That's enough." Jing Yun let go of Sheng Minglan's hand. "Go back and rest, fourth sister. Jing Yun's place is not a place you should stay for long. You are getting engaged soon." Sheng Minglan nodded helplessly. "Then rest early. Tell Sheng Xiao if you have any grievances." "I know." Sheng Minglan turned and walked out of Jing Yun's room, and Jing Yun quickly closed the door. He was afraid that he could not hold back his feelings, and with Sheng Minghui's humiliation, he could not stay in the Sheng family any longer. Not only that, Sheng Minghui was clearly not going to let the matter pass just like that, because she was good at making a mountain out of a molehill. To not put Sheng Minglan in a difficult position, Jing Yun quickly called Sheng Xiao. "Young master." Sheng Xiao answered Jing Yun after hearing everything. "Go to the old man right away, and tell him that you're moving out of the Sheng family, so that seventh sister won't go there and stir up trouble. If you go to the old man first, seventh sister will become the culprit who forced you out, and the old man won't forgive her. Also, the villa that my mother prepared before, I'll transfer it to you. In the future, deduct it from the shares, and consider it as me selling it to you." "I understand, young master." Mu Qiqi was beside Sheng Xiao when he answered the call. She could hear how considerate he was about Jing Yun's feelings, and thought that was probably why Jing Yun was willing to follow Sheng Xiao. This man was really meticulous. On the other hand, Jing Yun immediately took action after hanging up. He went to Grandpa Sheng's study in the middle of the night and asked for an audience. "Jing Yun, it's so late. What's the matter?" "Chairman, I don't think I can stay with the Sheng family anymore. Please allow me to leave." Jing Yun went straight to the point when he saw the old man. "Why is that?" Although Grandpa Sheng had verbally reminded Jing Yun of his identity, it did not mean that he did not approve of Jing Yun. "Miss Minghui came to my room tonight and saw Miss Minghui." With that, Grandpa Sheng understood what Jing Yun meant. "What nonsense is Sheng Minghui spouting this time? You're brought here by fourth sister, so it's only natural that you two would be closer. Moreover, you're at home. What nonsense could Sheng Minghui spout? Miss Minghui is about to get engaged. I don't want her reputation to be tarnished, and I don't want to complicate things. That's why I hope that you can grant my request, Chairman." "Jing Yun, you should know that Grandpa Sheng has always treated you like his own grandson. If you want to move out, I'll find a place for you." There's no need, Chairman. Young master has already arranged it. Jing Yun replied, but his tone was polite. That was what Sheng Xiao had told her. She must show her disappointment in front of Grandpa Sheng. That was the only way to hurt him. All right, if this will make you feel better, then do it. With Grandpa Sheng's consent, Sheng Xiao moved out of Sheng Mansion overnight without informing anyone, not even Sheng Minglan. The next day, Sheng Minghui was still spreading rumors in the Sheng family, saying that Sheng Minglan and Jing Yun were really close and were meeting each other late at night. When Grandpa Sheng heard about it during breakfast, he slammed his hand on the table. Stand up, Sheng Minghui. Grandpa? Sheng Minghui was bewildered, but she could still feel Grandpa Sheng's rage, and had to get up from her seat. What nonsense are you spreading about fourth sister and Jing Yun? Grandpa, fourth sister is the young lady of the Sheng family, and Jing Yun is just an orphan. Aren't they afraid of people gossiping about them meeting in the middle of the night? You're still talking? Grandpa Sheng was so angry that he hit Sheng Minghui with his walking stick. You forced Jing Yun away last night, and you're still not satisfied? Jing Yun was brought back by fourth sister, and he has worked hard for the Sheng family for so many years without a single complaint. His contributions to Huang Yao are not something you can imagine. You don't even have a third of his ability, and you're still trying to show off? Grandpa! She left last night because she was afraid that you would spread rumors and ruin fourth sister's reputation. Now, I thought that you would stop, but I didn't expect that you would become even worse. You don't have to eat breakfast. Go back to your room. I don't want to see you. Grandpa Sheng was really angry, which was why he gave the order. However, it was a different feeling for Sheng Minglan. She rose to her feet, and before Sheng Minghui could leave, slapped her across the face, startling everyone in the Sheng family, especially Grandpa Sheng. I'm your sister. What have I done to you that you would spread rumors about me? Sheng Minghui could not say anything, knowing that she was in the wrong. It's fine that you forced Jing Yun away, Sheng Minghui. I won't be polite to you as your sister from now on. With that, Sheng Minghui left the dining table. Everyone could feel that she was angry, and she did have a reason to be angry. Sheng Minghui could only go back to her room and smash things on the floor. Why is everyone against me? Why? Don't you have any F***king idea? On the other hand, Sheng Minglan went to Jing Yun's room and found that he had taken away his gifts aside from a change of clothes. And just like that, he left the Sheng family's house without a word. As for the slap just now, it would be more accurate to say that it was for Jing Yun rather than for her. He moved away just like that, without even saying goodbye. Chapter 279. Jing Yun never thought about affecting Sheng Minglan in any way, because he never thought that he was that important to her. Now that he was outside and had his own home, it was actually quite good. At the very least, he didn't have to worry about anything. Soon, Sheng Minglan called Sheng Xiao, her voice urgent. Eighth brother, where did Jing Yun go? He's my assistant. Where else could he go? But he won't be staying at the Sheng family's house anymore. Less people gossip. Aren't you moving out soon? What? Are you worried about Jing Yun? He was forced away by seventh sister because of me. It's good that you know. Sheng Xiao did not explain. It was his plan, because he wanted Sheng Minglan to feel guilty. That way, it would be a little consolation for that sentimental person. Promise me, eighth brother. Take good care of Jing Yun. He's doing fine. The Sheng family might not know Jing Yun's ability, but Sheng Xiao did. After all these years, he had never met anyone in Huang Yao who was more suitable than Jing Yun for his father's position. Either way, promise me. All right, I promise you. Sheng Zhao's lips curled into a smile despite his reply. Sheng Minglan was anxious because she had feelings for Jing Yun, even if it wasn't love right now. Of course, Sheng Xiao did not forget to tell Jing Yun about Sheng Minglan's worries, because he knew how precious that little bit of psychological comfort was to Jing Yun. Schedule all my time tomorrow. I'll celebrate Chi-Er's birthday with her. Got it. Jing Yun nodded. Now that you've moved out and fourth sister is about to move out, haven't you thought about finding a chance to express your feelings to her? Sheng Xiao was very anxious. He could not understand why he couldn't keep the woman he liked by his side. Who would care about him if he just protected her quietly like that when she marries. Jing Yin remained calm. He had resigned himself to his fate, believing that it was his destiny to protect Sheng Minglan. Of course, it was absurd for Sheng Xiao. Whether he was the crown prince of the Sheng family, or an orphan like Jing Yin, he would keep her by his side as long as he was sure of that person. Sheng Xiao did not say much when he saw that Jing Yin was so stubborn. After all, EQ really differed from person to person. Still, Mu Qiqi was as angry as Sheng Minglan when she heard about Jing Yin. What had Sheng Minglan ever done for the Sheng family? In the end, Jing Yin was bullied by her. That was why Sheng Minglan's slap was so satisfying. At night, Mu Qiqi was reading the information in the study again. Sheng Xiao had promised her that he would show her the background of the two young masters of the Lu family. Mu Qiqi tossed and turned and suddenly sighed. This young master of the Lu family is actually a little like you. He couldn't bear to see his sister-in-law suffer, so he gave her a new identity and a chance for revenge. Although it's a little strange for two brothers to sleep with one person, he doesn't care about the body. He cares about the soul. So, I think there's still a chance to turn things around. Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and asked her interestedly, "What's the basis of your judgment? Or is it just your intuition?" Think about it, Xiao Xiao. This eldest madam has no background and would not benefit eldest young master's business. But why did eldest young master not interfere with his wife all these years and let her take revenge on her sister-in-law? It's simple. Without love and waiting, I don't believe any man could do what he did. So, I think we can start with eldest young master. I believe he wants his wife to let go of her grudge and live a new life. Wanna bet? Then how are you going to do it? That's not for you to ask. What you need to do is to make things convenient for me. Mu Qiqi said confidently. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The Lu family's matter is also related to the VVIP Knight of Huang Yao. If you can really solve it, I'll take care of everything else. You said it. Mu Qiqi pointed at Sheng Xiao's nose and promised. Sheng Xiao held her hand and nodded. I said it. I mean it. Soon they were kissing. Anyway, no matter where they were or what they were discussing, this man always had a way to turn the place into a place of pleasure. He was really shameless, but Mu Qiqi was already used to it. Anyway, she was satisfied with a man's love. This time, they only stopped when it was late at night. After Sheng Xiao took Mu Qiqi for a bath, they lay on the bed. It was snowing outside the window. Mu Qiqi felt a chill and quickly burrowed into Sheng Xiao's arms. It was Christmas Eve. Just when Mu Qiqi was half asleep, Sheng Xiao suddenly kissed her forehead and whispered, "Happy birthday, little one." Mu Qiqi opened her eyes and revealed her snow-white arms. "Where's my present?" Mu Qiqi was just joking, but unexpectedly, Sheng Xiao really put something in her hand. Mu Qiqi took it and sat up. There was a necklace in her palm. The two ends of the necklace were in the shape of wings, delicate and cute. And the pendant was, "This is my heart." Who would make a necklace in the shape of a heart so simply and crudely? Mu Qiqi smiled as she studied the necklace. The pendant was indeed in the shape of a heart, but it was encased in white diamonds. From afar, it looked like an irregular stone, and it had a different kind of beauty. Because she was a medical student, she could recognize it at a glance. But most people would rather see it as an irregular white diamond. The world is so big. You can't get any luxurious jewelry you want. But this pendant is a miniature version of my heart. I'm giving it to you for safekeeping. Mu Qiqi felt sweet inside. She held the necklace tightly. I'll protect it. Happy birthday. I'm happy every day with you. Mu Qiqi could not hold back her tears. Xiao Xiao, don't leave me. Don't ever leave me, okay? Congratulations. You're 19, little one. With that, Sheng Xiao kissed her again. Even if Mu Qiqi was exhausted, she only wanted to respond to this man, the man she was deeply infatuated with. Soon the two joined together again. So the cleaning before was a waste. Outside the window it was snowing heavily. In the warm house, flirtatious sounds rose and fell. It seemed more intense than usual. Chapter 280. It was cold outside, and it was nighttime. Of course, it was suitable for them to continue their intimacy. Still, Muchichi was so tired that she could only utter a few feeble words. No, Xiao Xiao, no. Sheng Xiao only let her go when he saw that she was really tired. Early next morning, Muchichi received many well wishes from Qianqian, her aunt, Grandpa Shen, and Shen Jianxuan. Muchichi thanked them all and decided to visit her father before returning to the Shuns for lunch. At night, Muchichi planned to hold a small private gathering in Jingting's garden. It's a chance for Jingyan and fourth sister. Let Qianqian come too. I haven't seen her for a long time. It's your birthday, you decide. Then I'll have Aunt Wu put a Christmas tree in the yard. Muchichi appeared very excited. Now that her relationship with Sheng Xiao was public, she no longer had to hide and could see her best friend whenever she wanted. Sheng Minglan was naturally willing to go when she received the invitation. After all, Shaoqi was the only place in the entire Sheng family where she felt comfortable. Still, Muchichi told Sheng Minglan in advance that Lu Qianqian would be there as well, and hoped that Sheng Minglan would not mind. Don't worry. I understand, Miss Lu. Muchichi made the arrangements. In the afternoon, she decorated Jingting with fifth aunt. Sheng Xiao did not go to Huangyao today. He just sat in the living room and worked. For some reason, hearing the little one's voice and seeing her figure made him feel at ease and satisfied. In the afternoon, Jing Yun went to Jingting first and handed the important documents to Sheng Xiao. When Muchichi saw that he was about to leave, she tugged at him. What are you going to do? It's my birthday and you're leaving? Young madam, I'll come back later. Stay. Sheng Xiao told Jing Yun without looking up. It's not urgent anyway. Seeing that Muchichi wanted to decorate Jingting like a fairy tale world, Jing Yun went with Aunt Wu to help. Muchichi winked at Sheng Xiao and secretly kissed his thin lips where no one could see. Still, it had been a long time since he saw Cheer so happy. Sheng Xiao's lips curled into a smile. What a little one. Soon night fell. Muchichi asked fifth aunt to turn on the lights in the courtyard. Now there was finally the atmosphere of a party and Christmas. Soon Sheng Minglan arrived at Jingting. She got out of the car and saw Jing Yun standing in a corner preparing food. Stunned, she quickly walked up to Sheng Qiqi. Happy birthday. Muchichi looked at Jing Yun by reflex before asking Sheng Minglan. Does fourth sister have something to say to Jing Yun? You mischievous brat. He's right there. Hurry up and go. Sheng Minglan certainly had a lot of things she wanted to tell him, but she didn't know where to start now that she had met him. She quietly walked to Jing Yun's side and helped him unpack the food. Muchichi shook her head helplessly when she saw their awkwardness. She was about to ask Sheng Xiao for a solution, but Lu Qianqian had also arrived at Jingting, with Lin Muan following behind her. My seventh. Happy birthday. Come if you want. Why did you buy me anything? Muchichi was a little embarrassed when she saw her grandiloquent gift box. Try it, and you'll know what it is. Lu Qianqian winked at her. Then what's going on with you and Lin Muan? Muchichi lifted her chin and asked the man behind Qianqian. I said it's your birthday, but he insisted on coming. I can't help it. Xiao Qiqi, I've bought you a super big cake. It'll be delivered soon. Lin Mu and was very friendly, and after greeting Muan, he chatted with Sheng Xiao in the living room for a while before turning to Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan. Jing Yun likes fourth sister of the Sheng family, doesn't he? How did you know that? Sheng Xiao asked curiously. He wasn't looking in a certain direction, with a pained look on his face, on the day of your engagement. Now it's clear that it's fourth sister. Look at the atmosphere between them. It's filled with awkwardness before they start dating. Lin Mu and was an expert in the field of love, and naturally could see Jing Yun's current state and interest. Sheng Xiao smiled and made a bet with Lin Muan. I'll owe you a favor if you can get them together tonight. I'm going to earn a favor from the crown prince. Lin Muan became excited at the mention of a favor. Isn't that like having a golden token? Then I'll see how you perform. It was Muchichi's birthday party, and everyone was naturally relaxed and comfortable with just a few good friends. Lin Muan found it quite an interesting challenge, and so told Sheng Xiao. Let's watch the show. With that, he walked to the lawn and plucked a small present from the Christmas tree, handing it to Sheng Minglan. Goddess, do you still recognize me? Sheng Minglan glanced at Lin Muan and chuckled. Muan. That's right. It's me. Why don't I help you? With that, Lin Muan took the box from Sheng Minglan's hand and accidentally covered her hand. Why is it so cold? Go to the side and rest. Warm your hands. Was Jing Yin a match for Lin Muan? All he could do was watch, a hint of dejection flashing in his eyes. Mu Qiqi and Lu Qianqian shared a look at that. That scumbag Lin Muan. Can't you tell that he's provoking Jing Yin? Mu Qiqi quickly grabbed Lu Qianqian. Let him teach that blockhead Jing Yin a lesson. Lu Qianqian paused for a moment. Are you sure? I'm just worried that his philandering is acting up again. Why do you care about him? It's not like he's your boyfriend. Lu Qianqian did a double take at Mu Qiqi's words and realized that she was being a busybody. All right. In fact, wasn't that Mu Qiqi testing Lu Qianqian as well? Seeing that she had no chance to talk to Jing Yin, Sheng Minglan wanted to sit with her brother. Meanwhile, Lin Muan seized the chance to go to the washroom and get a towel soaked in hot water to wipe Sheng Minglan's hand. A fairy's hand shouldn't be left in the snow. Sheng Xiao couldn't help glancing at Jing Yun's direction when he saw that the blockhead was still focused on cooking. How could he hold it in? Muan, you really know how to win a girl's heart, Sheng Minglan said to Lin Mu, and even as she warmed her hands. If I were a few years younger, I might fall for your suit pants too. Goddess, I don't like what you're saying. Since when did you get old? Sheng Minglan laughed out loud this time. After all, who wouldn't be happy to be praised as young and pretty? Chapter 281. Soon dinner was ready. Everyone sat around a warm stove and a sumptuous dinner, just as the cake Lin Mu and had arranged was delivered to Jing Ting on time. Along with the twinkling lights on the Christmas tree, everyone present had probably never had such a warm and comfortable Christmas Eve. Lin Mu and deliberately sat next to Sheng Minglan, and when Mu Qiqi saw that Jing Yin had not taken his seat, she got up and whispered to him. You know that Lin Muan is a Casanova? You'd better keep an eye on him. Fourth sister is in a low mood right now, and he could easily take advantage of it. Jing Yin glanced at Mu Qiqi, but said nothing, though he held his plate and squeezed himself between Lin Muan and Sheng Minglan. Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao shared a look and couldn't help but laugh. Sure enough, goading worked best. It's been a long time since I played such a childish game. Do we have to make a wish on Christmas Eve? Lin Muan asked Sheng Minglan, deliberately standing between Jing Yun and them. Why don't we all play a game, Great Fairy? I think it's a good idea. It's Chiyer's birthday, and we're all friends here. We can have some fun. Lu Qianqian quickly raised her hand in agreement. I'm fine with it. Mu Qiqi raised a brow and turned to Sheng Xiao. What about you? Who's afraid? Tell me the rules. We'll start with an explosive question, and everyone has to answer it truthfully. If you can't, you'll be punished with 5 glasses of wine. What do you think? Although we often meet each other, we don't really know each other. We're friends, so how can we not have dirt on each other? Lin Mu and explained the rules of the game while asking for their opinions. Are we playing? Yes. Sheng Xiao made the final decision. All right, I'll start. You'll answer clockwise. And it's only a pass if everyone is satisfied with the answer. With that, Lin Muan prepared the glasses and placed them in front of everyone. Come on. Lu Qianqian was very supportive. As Mu Qiqi's best friend, she naturally knew why Mu Qiqi held this little gathering. Since it was for Jing Yin, she naturally had to put on a good show. The first question. Everyone has to tell us the name of your first love. Damn. Do you still remember who your first love was? Lu Qianqian glared at Lin Muan disdainfully. But since it's going clockwise, I'll be the first to answer. That said, my matter has caused a huge uproar. I don't need to say it, do I? Duan Xiaoan. Where's the crown prince? No one doubted Lu Qianqian's answer, which was why everyone turned to Sheng Xiao. Today was Mu Qiqi's birthday. If the crown prince answered another woman, he would have to kneel on durians tonight. Still, Sheng Xiao was not afraid at all. His expression was composed. Do you think anyone can be my woman? After saying that, he subconsciously put his arm around Mu Qiqi's shoulder. She's the only one I like and treasure, Cheer. Really? Everyone looked at him suspiciously, but Sheng Minglan came out to testify. Before Qiqi appeared, eighth brother was an insulator to women. I will definitely testify for him on this point. If that's the case, pass. As for Mu Qiqi, there's no need to ask. He's the crown prince after all, and there's nothing controversial about it. What about you, goddess? Lin Mu and then turned to the two main guests. Sheng Minglan blushed and answered awkwardly. It's been a few years. You all know the name of that scumbag, Lung Feng. The next one is amazing, Jing Yun. Quick, tell us the name of your first love. Jing Yun did not say anything. He simply picked up his wine glass and finished it in one gulp, and did not stop for 5 glasses. Really? That's a pity. Lin Mu and pretended to be regretful before answering himself. My first love was a chubby girl in elementary school. Her name was Xiaoxia. Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes. You're at the age where you first learn to love, while others are still playing with mud. Don't change the subject. This round is over. Let's move on to the second round, and it's going to be even more impressive. Just you wait. With that, Lin Muan rested for a moment and observed their gazes. Everyone could feel the bliss that Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi were exuding, and he wouldn't say much about it. However, both Jing Yin and Sheng Minglan had a blank look in their eyes. Who's the first person who made you fantasize about sex? Lu Qianqian slapped Lin Muan at his question. Pervert. Drink if you don't answer. Cut the crap. Lu Qianqian glared at him, and promptly picked up 5 glasses of wine, and finished them in one gulp. Where's the crown prince? Cheer. Sheng Xiao answered quickly. This time Mu Qiqi was stunned again. Is it me too? Don't you know very well who I can get hard on? Sheng Xiao whispered into Mu Qiqi's ear. Mu Qiqi blushed at once. Meanwhile, Lin Muan simply skipped over Mu Qiqi. You don't have to say it. Qiqi only has the crown prince in her heart, and now it's the goddess' turn. It was a very open question, and left Sheng Minglan sweating. I'll drink. But before Sheng Minglan could pick up her glass, Jing Yun had already downed 5 glasses for her. Jing Yun, you know that's breaking the rules, don't you? You didn't say I can't drink for you. Lin Muan glared at him and let him go. What about you? Answer the question. Jing Yun said nothing, and downed another 5 glasses. Could he still drink 15 glasses in a row? His face was already turning red. Lin Muan gave him a thumbs up and praised him. My fantasy partner is Anna Jolie. You're the one who's cheating. Lu Qianqian was very displeased with Lin Muan's answer. That's enough for the warm-up. Everyone, let's eat. Or some of you would get drunk before the food gets cold. Lin Muan's hint was quite strong, and he went to Sheng Minglan with his fork and knife. Goddess, do you mind if I sit with you? Sheng Minglan shook her head. Lin Muan sat down calmly, but accidentally knocked over the glass of red wine in front of Sheng Minglan. I'm sorry, goddess. I'll get a towel to wipe your feet. But just as he was about to rise, Jing Yun coldly cut him off. Don't bother. I'll go. But I was the one who knocked it over. I don't feel good. This time, Jing Yun directly pulled Sheng Minglan to her feet. Miss Minglan, let's clean up in the bathroom. You're going to catch a cold. Sheng Minglan nodded and promptly followed him. Chapter 282. When they reached the bathroom, Jing Yun turned on the hot water, and Sheng Minglan told him, It's just that my shoes are wet. Jing Yun filled the tub and heated the towel. Then, he crouched in front of Sheng Minglan, took off her shoes and covered her feet with the towel. Sheng Minglan did a double take and was about to struggle, but Jing Yun did not let her. It'll be fine in a while. Jing Yun, don't let Lin Muan touch you. He's a playboy and I'm worried. Jing Yun told Sheng Minglan calmly and gently. At least you have to meet someone you really like. That's the only way. Sheng Minglan looked at the man who was crouching in front of her. The warmth of his palm was directly transmitted to her soles. When did it start? The little boy from back then had now become such a mature and charismatic man. Sheng Minglan's heart was beating wildly, and her palms were sweating a little. Just wear the slippers from the guest room. I'll dry them for you. The process of covering her feet was as long as a century. That was why Sheng Minglan breathed a sigh of relief when Jing Yun said that. Sheng Minglan put on the warm slippers as she wished and left the bathroom. As for Jing Yun, she did not dare to look at his face at all, afraid that she would reveal what was in her heart. When the others saw her blush when she came out, they knew that she was not completely unaware of Jing Yun. "Goddess, I'm really sorry." Lin Muan quickly apologized. "It's fine. Let's keep chatting." Sheng Minglan quickly hid her panic. Jing Yun is such a blockhead. Finally, there's a day when he's considerate. Sheng Xiao deliberately stirred up an ambiguous atmosphere between them, and the few of them started drinking. Soon, Jing Yun returned to his seat. Even when he saw the others looking at him strangely, he remained calm. "It's such a good atmosphere. It's a pity not to dance," Lu Qianqian said as she sipped her wine. Lin Muan understood at once, and extended his hand to Sheng Minglan. "Goddess, could you do me the honor?" "It's not convenient for fourth sister's shoes," Jing Yun answered for her. "Then Qianqian, let's jump." Lu Qianqian glared at him, but still agreed to his suggestion. The two of them walked to the lawn behind them. At this time, Sheng Xiao pulled Mu Qiqi up and said to her, "I'm a little cold. Accompany me upstairs to change." "What do you mean by changing clothes? You're clearly trying to do something bad." Whatever the case may be, it would be best to keep Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan here. Mu Qiqi tried to resist, but was dragged into the bedroom by Sheng Xiao, who kissed her ferociously the moment they entered. "Xiao Xiao, you lit the fire. Are you trying to act shamelessly?" Mu Qiqi was stunned. She didn't understand how she had seduced this man, and she didn't have the chance to figure it out, because their union had already arrived. There were guests downstairs, and time was tight. But because of this, both of them were stimulated at the same time. It was even crazier and more carefree than usual. "How did I offend you?" "Your passionate gaze when you answer me. Doesn't that count?" Sheng Xiao pressed his lips against the tip of Mu Qiqi's nose domineeringly. "You had the same gaze when you had a crush on me, as if you wanted to devour me whole. I didn't." And yet, Mu Qiqi's protest was soon lost in Sheng Xiao's deep kiss. Downstairs, the snowy wind was biting. Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan simply sat there as they watched Lin Mu and Sheng Minglan dance. After a long time, Sheng Minglan asked, "Did you leave the Sheng family because of me?" "No. I would have to leave sooner or later," Jing Yun answered honestly. "If seventh sister didn't spread rumors everywhere, would you have left the Sheng family without a word?" Sheng Minglan was very clear about that. "We can't see each other often in the future, right? I'm still with young master. You can see me whenever you want, fourth sister, or you can give me a call. I'm about to embarrass grandpa at the engagement party, and the Sheng family might never have a place for me in the future. Since grandpa would suppress me in the future, why would I drag you down? I'm alone. Why would I be afraid of dragging you down?" Jing Yun chuckled and drank bottle after bottle. Unwittingly, the two had finished every bottle of wine they had prepared during the banquet. By then, both of them were getting tipsy. Although Sheng Minglan had a better tolerance, Jing Yun was so drunk that he slumped over the table. That was when Lin Mu and gestured to Lu Qianqian. "It's about time. We should leave. Do you think something would happen between them tonight?" "Just wait and see. The ambiguous atmosphere would definitely start tonight." Lin Muan held her by the waist and quietly led her away from the banquet. And the two upstairs probably wouldn't come down either. Seeing that everyone had left, fifth aunt came out to Sheng Minglan. "Fourth sister, I'll leave young Master Jing Yin to you. I have to go home and take care of my grandson." "All right. Happy Christmas Eve." Fifth aunt was a perceptive person. She knew what her master was doing tonight. So of course, she would create an opportunity for them. After fifth aunt left, Sheng Minglan looked at the Christmas tree that was still twinkling, and then at Jing Yin. "You've been taking care of me the last 2 times. Today, it's my turn to take care of you." Sheng Minglan spent a lot of effort to help Jing Yin into the guest room. Seeing how drunk he was, she was about to wipe his face when Jing Yin grabbed her hand. "Don't go. I'm not leaving." Sheng Minglan comforted him. "I'm just wiping your face." Jing Yin was stunned for a moment. Then, he let go of her hand. "You will be someone else's wife sooner or later. I can't force you." Sheng Minglan was suddenly puzzled at those words. What did he mean by that? Just as she was about to step into the bathroom, Jingyun suddenly got up from the bed and hugged her from behind. Jingyun, just 5 seconds. Let me be willful this time. I'll forget about it tomorrow. Sheng Minglan was surprised. Just when she was about to ask, Jingyun turned her around and pressed her against the wall. He almost kissed her. If I take advantage of you, fourth sister, you will hate me, right? Having said that, Jingyun took 2 steps back and sat on the bed. I'm really despicable. Before Sheng Minglan could say anything, Jingyun fell on the bed and fell asleep. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan's face was completely red, because she could vaguely feel the suppressed feelings of this man. At first, she thought that Jingyun did not know who he was hugging, and it was inevitable that the man would be confused. However, when he called out Miss Minglan's name, she understood that everything Jingyun did was for her. It was for herself. There was no one else. Chapter 283. Sheng Minglan did not dare to wake Jingyun up and ask him, what if she misunderstood? Still, she would not be satisfied if she did not get to the bottom of it. That was why asking Sheng Xiao about it was the safest. Still, she would not leave Sheng Xiao's room for the rest of the night. The next day, Sheng Ming came out of the guest room with a pale face. Finding Sheng Xiao drinking coffee in the living room, she went to him and sat down beside him. Jingyun is not awake yet? The first thing Sheng Xiao did was ask about Sheng Minglan. After all, they had shared the same room again last night, and Sheng Xiao knew what was going on. Is that important now? Sheng Minglan looked at him seriously. I have something to ask you, Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao looked up with a half-smile. You want to ask me if Jingyun likes you? How do you know? About this matter, you should ask the person in question. Do you think my words count? Sheng Xiao deliberately piqued Sheng Minglan's curiosity. Can't you use your heart to feel if a man likes you? Sheng Minglan said nothing, but she was pretty sure from Sheng Xiao's expression. It doesn't matter whether he likes you or not. You are the 4th daughter of the Sheng family, and he is my assistant. His background is even less than Qi-er's. You want to know the answer first. Can you shoulder such feelings? Don't point it out without thinking it through, or we won't be friends anymore. Should Sheng Minglan think about that? Of course she should. Her own crisis had not been resolved, and she could not bear to drag Jingyun down with her. What did Jingyun do wrong? He would suffer with her. Looks like you have thought it through. You would have to face Jingyun last night if you stay. You can leave Jingting now if you want to pretend you don't know anything. I'll handle Jingyun. Having thought it through, Sheng Minglan rose from the sofa. I'm going back. Take good care of Jingyun. Sheng Xiao nodded. Still, he knew that Jingyun still had a long way to go after seeing Sheng Minglan's reaction. After Sheng Minglan left, Mu Qiqi went downstairs and found 4th sister's back. She was puzzled. Why did 4th sister leave? 4th sister hasn't decided if she wants to face Jingyun yet. That's why I told her not to appear in front of Jingyun with such an indecisive look, and make him suffer even more. Mu Qiqi nodded and hugged his neck in agreement. You're always so meticulous. It's so tiring to watch 2 restrained people in love. Those were Sheng Xiao's exact words. To him, liking someone meant possessing them. Otherwise, what was the meaning of life? Soon, Jingyun came out of the guest room as well, and promptly straightened his posture respectfully when he saw Sheng Xiao. Don't drink so much in the future. It's hard for Aunt Wu to take care of you all night. Jingyun's brows naturally furrowed when he heard that. He clearly remembered that the person who wiped his face last night was Miss Minglan. Moreover, they seemed to have talked quite a bit. Could it be that he was dreaming? Regardless, Jingyun replied, I understand. Sheng Xiao kept the matter a secret, and he would not tell Jingyun what happened that night for the time being. Everything would have to wait until the time was right. Meanwhile, at the Sheng residence, when Sheng Minghui saw that Sheng Minglan came home early the next morning and reeked of alcohol, she knew that she had gone to Jingting again. 4th sister and Sheng Xiao seemed to have a good relationship. Sheng Minglan was already in a mess. Since Sheng Minghui was here to cause trouble, she would certainly not be polite. She grabbed Sheng Minghui's clothes and warned her. I advise you not to provoke me. Sheng Minghui was shocked by Sheng Minghui's action and did not say a word, while Sheng Minghui pushed her aside. Sheng Minghui clutched her pounding heart and only snorted coldly after Sheng Minghui had gone far away. Grandpa is the one in charge of this family. Could she have gotten the wrong person? Moreover, what good will it end up if she gets involved with Mu Qiqi? Having said that, Sheng Minghui went to Grandpa Sheng's study. Grandpa, do you know that fourth sister stayed at Jingting last night and did not come home? What are you trying to stir up again? Grandpa Sheng stopped practicing his calligraphy with his right hand and looked up at Sheng Minghui. Didn't I tell you to be quiet and wait for the results of the VVIP night? No, Grandpa. Think about it. Although fourth sister agreed to the marriage on the surface, we can all see how unhappy she is. Now that she is so close to Mu Qiqi, aren't you afraid that fourth sister would change her mind at the last minute? Is there anything that Mu Qiqi can't do? Wouldn't Sheng Xiao encourage fourth sister to pursue freedom? Sheng Minghui's words did not sound logical, but it pierced Grandpa Sheng's worry. After all, Sheng Minghui was obedient and did not resist at all. Was she afraid? It seemed that he had to plan ahead and let the rice be cooked. All right, don't keep talking about Mu Qiqi all the time. Aren't you using her now? Sheng Minghui shut up. She thought that it was true, and it would not be too late to deal with Mu Qiqi after she got through this. On the other hand, Grandpa Sheng had added the step of inviting the Englishmen to their house for dinner before the wedding, so that there would be no complications. What was Grandpa Sheng thinking? Nobody knew. Unable to understand Grandpa Sheng's intentions, Sheng Minghui called Sheng Xiao. Grandpa has arranged for the Englishmen to come for dinner in 2 days. Did you get the notice? I heard about it, but Grandpa Sheng did not let me and Chi go home. Sheng Xiao replied. Sheng Xiao, why do you think Grandpa Sheng is planning this? Or is he aware of it and prepared for it? I'll have my mother keep an eye on it. You can ask her if you have any trouble. Sheng Xiao told Sheng Minghui that since Grandpa Sheng had made all these preparations and forbade him and Mu Qiqi from going home, it was certainly not just for dinner. Since Grandpa Sheng did not want him to go home, he would go and have a party. Grandpa Sheng was a shrewd man in the first place, and with seventh sister constantly fanning the flames beside his ear, some things would become complicated even if they were simple. Having received Sheng Zhao's instructions, Mama Sheng subconsciously paid attention to Grandpa Sheng's every move. She also knew that Grandpa Sheng had specially bid for a very expensive bottle of Lafite. She assumed that Grandpa Sheng was going to use it when he invited the Englishmen to dinner, but Grandpa Sheng simply had it placed in his study. There was no telling what he was planning. Chapter 284. No one knew what kind of medicine it was. More importantly, Grandpa Sheng did not say that he was not feeling well. Mama Sheng sent the information back to Sheng Xiao and asked him to analyze it. Mu Qiqi thought for a while and found the key information. Treating someone? Drinking? Taking medicine? I don't think Grandpa Sheng has any good intentions. Xiao Xiao, we must go to Sheng Mansion tomorrow and save fourth sister. Okay. Sheng Xiao was busy with his work, but he still answered softly. However, in his heart, he was able to associate a lot of things with it. So he needed to verify it. He asked Mama Sheng to arrange for the servants to get the medicine tonight. If they could get the results, they should send it out of Sheng Mansion immediately. He would arrange for someone to do a test. But Mama Sheng was not completely confident. After all, the medicine was in Grandpa Sheng's bedroom. And Grandpa Sheng was such a cunning man. The servants only have time to make the bed for Grandpa Sheng. I'm afraid it won't be enough. That's easy. Mom, you can go and trouble seventh sister. She will definitely complain to Grandpa Sheng. That will buy us some time. Alright, I'll give it a try. Mama Sheng agreed, because it was related to fourth sister's happiness. Mama Sheng was willing to help. But if Grandpa Sheng keeps the medicine in the safe, we can't do anything about it. Then I'll torture Dr. Yan. You're really? Mama Sheng couldn't help but laugh when she heard that. However, she also felt that Sheng Xiao seemed to have a little more human when he was with Mu Qiqi. He was no longer acting in his own way. At least he had a place in his heart. Where's Mu Qiqi? Her? Sheng Xiao glanced at the woman beside him. She was studying the information of the eldest son of the Lu family. He smiled. She is thinking of a way to solve the VVIP night in Huangyao. Huangyao has an entire team, but they still can't solve it. She is just a little girl. Mama Sheng sighed. You should treat Mu Qiqi well. Don't tire her out. It doesn't matter if you can't solve it. Let's wait and see. With that, Sheng Xiao hung up and kissed Mu Qiqi on the head. Don't fool around. I am busy. Mom told me to love you more. I'm just doing my filial duty. Mu Qiqi put down her pen and looked up. Sheng Xiao lifted her up from the chair. It's late, Xiaoqier. She really couldn't do anything to this man. In the Sheng family, Mama Sheng followed Sheng Zhao's arrangement. She asked the servant to go to Grandpa Sheng's room to look for the medicine. The servant knew Grandpa Sheng's habit of keeping things. Other than the safe, she knew where Grandpa Sheng kept the medicine, but she couldn't find it. The helper was helpless. She made one last attempt and found a small medicine bag in the corner of the safe. The helper was not sure, so she carefully opened it, looked at it, and carefully put it back. There were 4 yellow Xiaorao pills. The servant did not dare to break them. She scraped some powder with her fingernails and took it away. She was ready to give it to Mama Sheng. However, when he went out, he bumped into the old man. He panicked and was scared out of his wits. What are you doing? Master, I was just frightened. Grandpa Sheng walked to the safe and looked at the medicine bag. When he found that it was still there, he waved his hand at the servant. You can leave now. After the servant left, Grandpa Sheng went to check the medicine bag again. He was relieved when he saw that there were no pills missing. The servant was so scared that she broke into a cold sweat. She quickly went to look for Mama Sheng. Mama Sheng had just returned to her room. She did not go to Seventh Sister because it was too deliberate. Anyway, it was the end of the month. So, she went to talk to Grandpa Sheng about the expenses of the family. How is it? I got it. I hope it will be useful for you. The servant took out a small paper bag and gave it to Mama Sheng. I only scraped a little powder. It's enough. Mama Sheng sent it to Sheng Xiao overnight. Sheng Xiao immediately arranged for the test. The next morning, Sheng Xiao got the answer. It was an aphrodisiac that could be bought in the market. Grandpa Sheng invited her to dinner. He prepared red wine and aphrodisiac. What was he doing? Wasn't he trying to force Xing Minglan to submit? It seemed that Grandpa Sheng had noticed Fourth Sister's action. Otherwise, he would not want to do this. However, since Grandpa Sheng treated his granddaughter like this, he could not blame him for arranging a good show. Tonight, the Sheng family invited their future son-in-law to dinner. So the servants were decorating the living room. According to Grandpa Sheng, it was to make the guests feel at home. Xing Minglan was not excited. Her eyes were getting darker and darker. She could not see through her. Seventh Sister saw that she was upset, so she smiled at Xing Minglan. Fourth Sister, aren't you curious why there is a dinner tonight? Because I secretly told Grandpa that you are too close to Mu Qiqi. Maybe you have been infected by her and want to get rid of Grandpa's control. So Grandpa arranged this dinner to give you a wake-up call. This matter is already set in stone. You should just accept your fate. Xing Minglan sneered. Why wouldn't I accept my fate? I just don't know that you are such a bitch. Why would I be a bitch? I am just concerned about you. Xing Minglan said nothing. She just clenched her fists. When she returned to her room, she called Sheng Xiao. Seventh Sister is the one who urged me to do this. Sheng Xiao, I can't stand it anymore. Let Seventh Sister be the bride tonight. Are you sure? I am sure. Why can't I resist for once? Why should I let her do whatever she wants? Just because I'm more obedient than her? More reasonable than her? No, some people will only become worse if you are kind to them. Sheng Xiao, let's do it. Sitting in his office in Huangyao, Sheng Xiao smiled. The show was getting more and more interesting. If that's the case, let's add some spice to the plan. Other people's grandfathers could care for their granddaughters. For example, Grandpa Shen. There were also people who treated their granddaughters harshly and finally admitted their mistakes. For example, Grandpa Mu. But what about Sheng Zhao's grandpa? He used an aphrodisiac on his granddaughter. It was such a despicable trick. Sheng Minglan was determined to leave the Sheng family. Such a family, and such elders were not worth her sadness. So, the show tonight would definitely be interesting. Jing Yin was by Sheng Zhao's side. He knew what happened from the start, and felt sorry for Sheng Xiao. But Sheng Xiao also reminded him, if you want fourth sister to be safe, don't act rashly. I'll make all the necessary preparations. When the time comes, you just need to bring fourth sister to the hospital, and send her home secretly tomorrow morning. I'll make arrangements for everything else. Although Jing Yun was worried, he nodded. Chapter 285. After business was over, Sheng Xiao went home, ready to bring Mu Qiqi to Sheng Mansion to watch the show. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi was already prepared. She had already changed into a long black dress and a brown trench coat. Sheng Xiao raised a brow. When he saw that the little one was so feminine, he couldn't help kissing her. Stop fooling around. Fourth sister's matter is more important. Sheng Xiao put his arm around Mu Qiqi's waist, and they quickly got into the car. On the way, Sheng Xiao told Mu Qiqi about Sheng Minghui's instigation in front of the old man. Mu Qiqi almost exploded when she heard that. I don't get it. Seventh sister hates me for stealing you away and embarrassing her friend. I have nothing to say about that. But fourth sister has never done anything wrong to her. Why does she have to pick on me? Mu Qiqi almost exploded when she heard that. Fourth sister helps you at every turn, and the two of you are inseparable. Of course she would mark fourth sister as an enemy. But doesn't she know how she would hurt fourth sister by doing that? Do you think fourth sister would tolerate her? Do you know what fourth sister actually said? That Sheng Minghui would be a one-night bride. Mu Qiqi was stunned at that. Sheng Minglan was not one to do evil to others, but Sheng Minghui had made her so unbearable. Well, let's wait for the show tonight. It was 6:30 at night. The Sheng family was already seated and dressed to the nines, because they had a guest, the Englishman who was sitting beside Sheng Minglan. Everyone conversed in English, and had a pleasant conversation. The old man was becoming more and more pleased with the Englishman, because he revealed between the lines that he would grow with Huang Yao, and that he would help the Sheng family expand into the Northern European market after he and Sheng Minglan got married. The man was 34 years old, and appeared elegant like most Englishmen. However, he never once told Sheng Minglan that he was married for the second time, and had a daughter. It was a lie. The family conversed happily, but the old man never expected that Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao would return halfway through the dinner. Why didn't you invite us to a gathering? Sheng Xiao asked the old man, holding on to Mama Sheng's chair. Humph. Grandpa Ji snorted. I'm just afraid that you'll ruin your sister's wedding. I'm bringing Chier back tonight just to make a living. Old master, you're thinking too much. The servants promptly brought chairs for them, while Sheng Xiao led Mu Qiqi to their seats. Still, everyone in the Sheng family at the dining table had their own thoughts, and were making their own plans. Grandpa Sheng was afraid that Sheng Xiao would cause trouble, but Sheng Minghui was more than happy to see Mu Qiqi back, because she wanted Mu Qiqi to know that Grandpa's orders were not to be disobeyed. Even though fourth sister was so unwilling, Grandpa Sheng still ordered her to marry Mu Qiqi. This meant that if Grandpa Sheng asked Sheng Xiao to dump Mu Qiqi, he would have to do the same. But tonight, Mu Qiqi had no intention of looking for trouble at all. She talked to Mama Sheng the whole time, and did not seem to care about Sheng Minghui at all. It was as if she was really here for dinner. But Grandpa Sheng did not forget to ask about the progress of Huang Yao's VVIP night. Qiqi, do you still remember the topic Grandpa gave you? Of course not. How could she forget the person who dug a hole for her to jump into? Are you confident? Grandpa only cares about the results. You don't have to care about anything else. Mu Qiqi told Grandpa Sheng confidently. I'll definitely give you a different VVP night. You're the one who's boasting. Don't mess things up and embarrass Sheng Xiao. I'll do my best for him. Grandpa Sheng was deliberately diverting everyone's attention to Mu Qiqi, so that they would not notice that he was actually helping Sheng Minghui and the Englishman get together. I don't believe that an 18-year-old girl like you could do anything. Mu Qiqi only replied after hearing Sheng Minghui's sarcasm. I'm sorry, but I'm 19. And seventh sister, I'll prove that I can do what you can't do at 25. Let's wait and see. The first half of the night was about the development of Huang Yao and the British fashion house, while the second half was about the VVIP night. After they had their fill, Grandpa Sheng looked at his children and grandchildren, especially Sheng Xiao. He was quite satisfied with the night. At least he was not here to cause trouble. Then, Grandpa Sheng turned to Sheng Minglan and the Englishman. Both of you come to my study later. I have something to tell you. Yes, Grandpa. Sheng Minglan replied, sharing a look with Sheng Xiao to make sure that the show was ready. But that was when Xing Minghui shouted, "Is the chef crazy? Why is there so much mustard in the seafood? It's so spicy. Sister Yin, get me a glass of ice water." Sheng Xiao smirked. It seemed that he would have to raise the chef's salary. "I'm coming, Miss Minglan." After dinner, everyone was still chatting when Sheng Xiao led Mu Qiqi away. "Grandpa, don't forget to call me when there's dinner in the future. If you're this obedient every time, there would be seats for you everywhere in the house." The old man snorted. "Well, I wish all of you a pleasant night," Sheng Xiao said meaningfully, and held Mu Qiqi's hand as they went downstairs. Still, they did not leave the house, because they were waiting to receive Sheng Minglan. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan and the Englishman had arrived at Grandpa Sheng's study, and the legendary Lafite was finally presented to Sheng Minglan. About the engagement ceremony, Grandpa wants to ask you if there are any changes that need to be made. It's your engagement ceremony, and I want to hear your opinions. Without batting an eyelid, Old Master Sheng asked someone to prepare the wine glasses and poured the red wine, preparing to chat with the two of them while drinking. The Englishman was caught off guard, while Sheng Minglan deliberately cooperated. That was when Sheng Minghui slowly reacted after drinking the ice water. That was why she returned to her room, intending to take a bath and see if she would feel better. But when she passed by Sheng Minglan's room, she seemed to hear a woman moaning. She wanted to confirm it, but the door to Sheng Minglan's room was left open, and she was locked inside after she barged in. Soon, she was paralyzed on the floor, her body in agony. On the other hand, Sheng Minglan was starting to feel uncomfortable. "Grandpa, I want to go back to my room." Knowing that she was having an outburst, the old man waved her off. "Go." Sheng Minglan promptly got up and returned to her room with a hint of rationality. Then, she fell into a cold embrace. It was Jing Yun's scent. "I'll bring you to my room." Because no one knew that Sheng Minghui was in Sheng Minglan's room, the old man would not know that it was Sheng Minglan, and not Xing Minglan who was in the room. Chapter 286. Jing Yun, I don't feel good. Sheng Minglan felt that this was the most embarrassing moment in her life. Her entire body was burning, and she couldn't help wanting to get closer to Jing Yun. Even so, her rationality reminded her that she must not lose her composure like that. Jing Yun brought Sheng Minglan to the room he used to stay in, and put her in the bathroom. Still, he could not bear to put Sheng Minglan in the cold water, so he used a cold towel to ease her discomfort. "Hang in there. We'll get out of here soon." "Jing Yun, don't go." Sheng Minglan held on to Jing Yun. This man was her only support right now. After all, she was afraid that the old man would notice them, and all her efforts would go to waste. "I'm not going. I'll stay here with you." Jing Yun put the wet towel over Sheng Minglan's neck, so that she could regain some rationality. Meanwhile, the drug in the Englishman's body was starting to take effect. When the old man saw him, he asked, "Are you not feeling well?" "A little." "Then rest in Minglan's room. Don't go back tonight. I'll have the servants help you in." The old man was calm and composed, showing no sign that he had done something vicious. The Englishman didn't have the strength to reply, and so entered Sheng Minglan's room with the help of the servants. The Englishman couldn't find the light at all. He could vaguely see the bed, and so he walked towards it, and threw himself on top of it. Meanwhile, Sheng Minghui was tearing at her clothes in discomfort, and the two of them were in a blazing inferno. Soon, the room was filled with noises that left one blushing. When the servants heard that, and confirmed that the job was done, they reported it to the old man. The old man seemed to have fulfilled a long-cherished wish. He ordered the servants. Pass down the order. No matter what sounds come from that room tonight, we don't need to pay attention to it. Understood, master. The servants were naturally happy that they could rest earlier. However, none of them knew that the woman in the room wasn't Sheng Minglan at all. Even so, it was too late even if they found out now. Seeing that the servants were leaving, Mama Sheng quickly informed Jing Yun. I'll stall the old man. Find a chance to leave with fourth sister. Eighth brother's car is waiting downstairs. Seeing that his chance had come, Jing Yun wrapped Sheng Minglan in his jacket so that she wouldn't be exposed, and carried her out of the house, avoiding the servants and going straight to the Sheng family's parking lot. Jing Yun. Mu Qiqi waved at Jing Yun from the car. Jing Yun quickly led Sheng Minglan into the car, and it was only then that Sheng Zhao's car left the house. How is fourth sister? Mu Qiqi looked back and saw Sheng Minglan blushing and moaning nonstop. Sheng Xiao turned her head and instructed Jing Yun. Go straight to Jingting. The doctor is already waiting there. Mu Qiqi understood Sheng Zhao's intention. So, she turned on the music in the car. There was nothing to see other people's embarrassment. She had to save fourth sister's face. Jing Yun looked at the two people in front of the car gratefully. Only then did he hug Sheng Minglan tightly. Her body was too hot, and if he did not relieve it in time, it would definitely harm her body. Ti Yun's and Ti, Sheng Zhao's Ti. Ti Sheng Sheng Yun Ti Ti the Ti her. After all, his chest was cool and comfortable. Jing Yun blushed as well. Fortunately, Mu Qiqi and Mu Qiqi pretended not to know about it. The music was loud as well. Hold on a little longer, fourth sister. Sheng Minglan simply couldn't control the emptiness and desire in her body. So she climbed onto Jing Yun's neck and nibbled his ear. Jing Yun held her down, afraid that she would do something more extreme. Finally the car entered Jingting. Jing Yun quickly carried Sheng Minglan down the car, and the family doctor reacted quickly. After checking Sheng Minglan, he took out a syringe and injected her with some medicine to relieve the heat. There's a process. Wipe her body with a wet towel. At that, Jing Yun carried Sheng Minglan to the bed in the guest room and went to the fridge to get some ice. Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi shared a look. They really thought that Jing Yun would have to rely on his own abilities to stay single. With the medicine, Sheng Minglan regained some of her rationality. When she saw Jing Yun busying himself, she tugged at his sleeve. Jing Yun. What is it, fourth sister? Jing Yun. What is it, fourth sister? Jing Yun quickly crouched in front of Sheng Minglan. I feel terrible. I feel terrible. Don't you like me? Just take me. Jing Yun's whole body stiffened at Sheng Minglan's words. Fourth sister knew that he liked her, and she even told him to take her? Fourth sister, you've already seen the doctor. You'll be fine after a while. Jing Yun calmed Sheng Minglan in the next second. But it's really terrible. Sheng Minglan reached out to tug at her clothes, and accidentally revealed a large part of her body. Jing Yun quickly covered her with a blanket. You'll be fine soon. I won't feel terrible if you take me. I won't take advantage of you. Jing Yun told Sheng Minglan very firmly. There's some ice here. I'll put it on for you. You'll be fine soon. Some wrong things should not happen at the wrong time. Jing Yun's mind was very clear. He did not want Sheng Minglan to have the wrong idea of marrying anyone but him because of this. He hoped that Sheng Minglan would be clear-headed whenever she made a decision. Sheng Minglan did not say anything else. She closed her eyes and cooperated with him. Soon, she got through the most difficult part and felt much better. After a while, Sheng Minglan opened her eyes and looked at Jing Yun. Don't tell anyone about what happened tonight. Don't worry. I won't do it for the rest of my life. Jing Yun promised. Sheng Minglan was relieved and closed her eyes. At the same time, she had a new understanding of Jing Yun. This man was really mature. Outside the door, Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi were sitting in the living room. Mu Qiqi glanced at the door of the guest room and asked, Xiao Xiao, do you think they can make any progress? Fourth sister is already like this. Sheng Xiao shook his head. Jing Yun won't take advantage of others. He wasted such a good opportunity. Even if he doesn't make any progress, he could still confess. Fourth sister knows Jing Yun's feelings. Sheng Xiao pinched Mu Qiqi's nose. All right, let's not waste time. Go wash up and rest. What about you? I still have to send fourth sister home in the morning. Sheng Xiao nudged Muchichi. Go rest. I'll be up soon. Chapter 287. Waves of lust came and went. But when Sheng Minghui's stamina was completely drained, she finally realized that something was wrong. She was now lying in a man's arms. And they had done it countless times just now. What was going on? It was almost daybreak outside. And yet Sheng Minghui was having it with her brother-in-law. At that thought, she promptly jumped off the bed, holding back her discomfort as she returned to her room. When she reached the bathroom, she saw that her body was covered in marks of lovemaking. The crazy scene from last night flashed through her mind page by page. She slept with that Englishman? What about Sheng Minghui? Last night, she vaguely heard moaning in Sheng Minghui's room, which was why she pushed the door open and entered. After that, she had no recollection of anything else apart from the Englishman's madness. She simply could not remember anything else that happened last night. Sheng Minghui was sent back to the Sheng mansion in the wee hours of the morning, and only returned to her room after Sheng Minghui ran away, as if she was running for her life. From the atmosphere in the room, one could feel what kind of drama had played out here last night. Sheng Minghui pretended to wake up in her room, and woke the Englishman up. How could the Englishman know that he was not sleeping with his fiancée? Hence, he tried his best to explain to Sheng Minghui. Although Sheng Minghui felt wronged, she told the Englishman that they were going to be engaged anyway, and this was merely fulfilling their duty as husband and wife ahead of time. When Grandpa Sheng saw the two of them coming out of the room, he knew that it was a done deal. With Sheng Minghui's personality, she would not have any other thoughts since she had already given herself to the Englishman, and would be content with the engagement. Hence, the Sheng family kept quiet about what happened last night, although they knew what had happened. Everyone believed that Sheng Minghui and the Englishman were inseparable, and only Sheng Minghui knew, who had slept with the Englishman last night. Could she tell Grandpa Sheng about it? Not unless she wanted to die. Even so, she would not lose her chastity for no reason. Therefore, after breakfast, Sheng Minghui grabbed Sheng Minghui's wrist and dragged her to the Sheng mansion's garden. Fourth sister, you're really good. You planned everything last night, didn't you? Sheng Minghui, do you still want to rub salt into my wound? Sheng Minglan's eyes reddened too. Grandpa drugged the wine and made me give myself to this Englishman. Isn't that you're doing? You're trying to sow discord. Don't you know Grandpa will treat me like this? Sheng Minghui stared at Sheng Minglan, as if trying to determine if she was telling the truth. How would I know that Grandpa would drug you? You don't know? Do you dare to say that you didn't know anything when Grandpa wanted to attend this banquet? Indeed, she had guessed it and was prepared to watch the show, but she had no intention of watching herself. Sheng Minghui looked into Sheng Minglan's eyes, but could not find any flaws. Even so, it was clear that she and the Englishman had rolled around in Sheng Minglan's room last night. Did the old man drug Sheng Minglan? But why was she the one being drugged? And where was Sheng Minglan when she had sex with the Englishman? Or rather, with whom? But she could not see anything from Sheng Minglan's eyes. Was she going to lose her virginity for nothing? No, it definitely had something to do with Sheng Minglan. But she did not have the guts to ask Grandpa about it. Fourth sister, you better not let me know that you've schemed against me. I schemed against you? If it wasn't for you, would I be where I am today? Sheng Minglan pulled up her sleeve and saw a bruise on her arm. It was left by forceful sucking, and it was exactly the same as the one on her body. But it was not from someone else's kiss. Sheng Minglan had inflicted it on her arm herself. How else could she hide it from Sheng Minghui? Sheng Minghui did not say anything else and left the garden. She simply could not figure out what went wrong. She had rolled around with her brother-in-law for a night. If Grandpa knew about it, he would definitely kick her out of the house. To make sure that Sheng Minglan was not lying, Sheng Minghui went to the study and tested the old man. Grandpa, fourth sister seems very sad last night. She has no choice but to be sad. I did it for her own good. Fourth sister said that you drugged her. That has nothing to do with you. Grandpa Sheng's face fell and stopped Sheng Minghui. How could she say such things openly? Still, Grandpa Sheng's attitude made it clear to Sheng Minghui that Sheng Minglan must have fallen into the old man's trap. But what about her? Who could she complain to about her grievance? She felt utterly disgusted after being used by the Englishman for a night. Meanwhile, Grandpa Sheng felt guilty towards Sheng Minglan and became even more tolerant towards her. He did not stop Sheng Minglan even when she went out at night. Sheng Minglan went out to make sure that her body was fine and stayed by Jing Yun's side. After that, Sheng Minglan went to Jing Ting. Seventh sister is probably wondering why she woke up in my room out of the blue. Sheng Minglan said as she drank. If she didn't provoke Grandpa, this wouldn't have happened. Of course, I don't want to stay in this Sheng family anymore. I feel disgusted even for a second longer. Fourth sister. Mu Qiqi caressed her palm. You will be free soon. Everything will be over. Free? Sheng Minglan sneered. Do you think Grandpa would let me go after I did such a heinous thing? Still, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's better than sitting here and waiting for death. Miss Minglan, it's getting late. You should go back and rest. Jing Yun reminded her. I'm not going back tonight. Grandpa knows that I hate him, so he's not in the mood to care about me. With that, Sheng Minglan turned to Jing Yun beside her. Sheng Xiao and the others are resting. Why don't you talk to me for a while? This is my house. Sheng Xiao looked at them and gestured at the guest room with his chin. You two go in. Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao glanced at them before turning to Mu Qiqi. Go wash up. I'm going to the study. I'll be back in my room soon. All right. Mu Qiqi nodded. She had a feeling that Sheng Minglan had something to tell Jing Yun. Jing Yun was feeling a lot of pressure, especially after seeing Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi go upstairs. He felt his entire body stiffening as he faced Sheng Minglan, who was awake. About what happened last night. I won't tell anyone, Jing Yun quickly said. Chapter 288. No, Jing Yun answered honestly. Jing Yun answered honestly. Because I know that if I really did that, you would hate me when you woke up. Hate you? Sheng Minglan chuckled. I'm already the Englishman's woman in other people's eyes. What else do I have to hate? It will all pass. Grandpa is so cruel, Sheng Minglan said, and promptly gulped down a glass of wine. But I didn't let seventh sister take advantage of me either. Miss Minglan. Jing Yun, why don't we get together? What do you think? Sheng Minglan put down her glass and suddenly crooked her finger at Jing Yun. It was only when he came close that she asked him, Get together with me? Jing Yun shook his head despite his shock. Miss Minglan, please stop joking. I have my dignity too. Even if Jing Yun had no background, his feelings were not cheap. He would not wag his tail like a dog when the person he liked responded to him. I'm serious. If I can leave the Sheng family this time, I'll come to you. With those words, Sheng Minglan curled up on the sofa and fell asleep in no time. When Jing Yun saw that, he carried her into the guest room. He was as calm as ever, because he never thought that Sheng Minglan was serious from start to finish. Perhaps she was just drunk. Upstairs, after washing up, Mu Qiqi sprawled on the bed to read some documents. When Sheng Xiao entered the bedroom and saw that, he promptly patted her butt. Time to sleep. Why do I feel like our house has become a place where fourth sister and Jing Yun are having an affair? Weren't you the one who wanted them to get together? Sheng Xiao tugged off his towel and lay on the bed. Mu Qiqi quickly leaned over and lay on his chest. I'm going to meet the eldest son of the Liu family tomorrow. I have to finish my homework before fourth sister's engagement party. Bring bodyguards. Got it. Mu Qiqi nodded. I really want to see fourth sister and Jing Yun together. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan did not return home. Meanwhile, seventh sister was in her room investigating the Englishman. Although this man was divorced and had a child, he was indeed very capable in that aspect. In addition, he owned a high-end fashion empire. In fact, she felt that she could consider this marriage. She did not need to take care of the child, and this man was not much older than her. He was a good man in all aspects. Why did she feel that Sheng Minglan was wronged by marrying this man? Now that she and this man had done the deed of husband and wife, she had tasted this man. If she was the one engaged to a British man, Wouldn't Sheng Minglan's reputation hit rock bottom? Who would want second-hand goods abandoned by the British? Anyway, the man was unmarried, and the woman was unmarried. Why couldn't she? With that in mind, Sheng Minghui had her own plans. And this was probably something that no one had expected. When that time comes, she would have the capital to deal with Mu Qiqi. After all, she would not let herself suffer for nothing. If that was the case, it was better to snatch it from Sheng Minglan's hands. The next day, Mu Qiqi left Jingting dressed like a university student and went to the Lu family's company. The receptionist asked her if she had a special appointment, because the eldest son of the Lu family had no time for a bored little girl. Mu Qiqi did not say anything else, and simply asked the receptionist to pass the message. I'm Mu Qiqi. I would like to have 10 minutes of your time, Mr. Lu. I hope that you can pass the message. The two receptionists were stunned when they heard Mu Qiqi's name. The young bride of the Sheng family was famous throughout Jianchuan. Since she was not a poor university student, the two receptionists certainly passed the message. After waiting for a while, she finally got an unexpected 10 minutes. Eldest Lu's secretary brought her directly to the CEO's office. And before that, Eldest Lu had just finished a collaboration. CEO Miss Mu is here. I'll be right there. Judging from his voice, Mu Qiqi felt that he must be a refined person. And the truth proved that Mu Qiqi was right. The young master of the Lu family was indeed refined to the core. Even the way he pushed up his glasses made him look like he was a man of good taste. May I know why you are here, Miss Mu? For your wife. Mu Qiqi said straightforwardly. Oh, for Zixin. But we don't know each other. Eldest Lu replied to Mu Qiqi. I want to resolve the awkwardness of Huang Yao's VVIP night, so I came to disturb you. For that. That's Huang Yao's business. Why did you come to me instead of taking good care of your customers? Young Master Lu, do you want your wife to live in hatred all the time? If you can resolve the hatred in her heart, your life will be different, won't it? After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, CEO Lu laughed. As her husband, I have spent 7 years and still could not make her let go of her hatred. You are just an 18-year-old girl? Do you think I can trust you? But this is a chance. Since the worst-case scenario is no result, why don't you let me try? CEO Lu? What do you want me to do? All you need to do is to prepare a gift for your wife, Mu Qiqi replied. Is it that simple? If it's that simple, I would have done it long ago. There's no need for you. I can't be arrogant and force my thoughts on you. Besides, I promised you that I would only take up 10 minutes of your time. I won't take up another second of your time. I'll leave now. Mu Qiqi was not a pushover. She was just telling eldest young Master Lu about the pros and cons. As for the rest, it naturally required the consent of the person involved. Soon Mu Qiqi walked out of the room. Meanwhile, eldest Lu became interested in Mu Qiqi. She was just a child herself. Could she change Zixin's mind? That would be a joke. That was why he did not care about Mu Qiqi at all. What earth-shattering things could an 18-year-old do? Mu Qiqi was so young and inexperienced that no one would trust her. The only one who trusted her was Sheng Xiao. Mu Qiqi knew that, which was why she did not intend to give up after just one try. Sincerity was necessary to convince others, but ability was the key to gaining recognition. At the same time, she could not delay others' work, which was why she planned to come at noon the next day. On the way back, Sheng Xiao called Mu Qiqi. How did it go? Not much. Because no one believes me. Mu Qiqi pouted. You're giving up just like that? If he doesn't believe me, I'll do it until he does. No husband would want his wife to live in the abyss of the past. I'm trying to help him, and I believe he will understand. Sheng Xiao smiled and hung up, but after putting away his phone, he had Jing Yun ask for eldest Lu's number. Are you planning to intervene, young master? You're tuning in to the Li Mei Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.